But the opposition leader has emerged as a dark horse, admitting he'll probably buy tickets to the show. Peter Malinauskas brokered a deal on Saturday when he crossed paths with the singer at the AFL Grand Final. Vincent Tarzia has concerns about giving the California Girls singer a discounted rate for the Nth cent, securing an SA stop on her 2025 tour.
If only Callie Malley cared as much about Katy Perry as he did about South Australian jobs. This guy has spent the last 2 weekends at the football.
The Albanese government is being urged to use the budget surplus to help struggling households. More from Michael Packey.
The final budget outcome shows a $15.8 billion surplus for the last financial year. The back-to-back improvement has been driven by lower government spending, making up for a reduction in tax revenue. Independent Senator Jackie Lambie argues the government should be using the surplus to help families with cost of living relief.
So we can put bread and milk on the table for our kids.
Treasurer Jim Chalmers maintains the government has been delivering support and keeping the nation's finances in check.
Not instead of providing cost of living relief, but in addition to providing cost of living relief.
Dr Chalmers admits the economic challenge will get tougher, with the budget likely to be in deficit next financial year.
Australia is in a productivity deadlock, with key economic measures going backwards in the 3 months to June. Experts argue a boost in productivity would lead to higher wages and better living standards, but the Productivity Commission says the figure has barely changed since the pandemic. And major floods and landslides in Nepal have killed almost 200 people. Authorities believe the death toll will continue rising as recovery and rescue work steps up across the Himalayan region. Now turning to 5AA sport, and Lions players are continuing to celebrate their premiership with Mad Monday celebrations in Brisbane. Former Richmond and Melbourne assistant Andrew McQualter has won the race to be appointed new Eagles coach to replace Adam Simpson. McQualter has been signing for 3 years. Could Rory Sloane be headed to Melbourne? He's been linked to a possible coaching role. The Western Bulldogs have approached club great Bob Murphy to return to Whitten Oval following his departure from Freo. And new ball tracking technology has failed. The league has informed the Gold Coast of an error in the score assist process, which overturned a goal in Friday's AFLW match, ultimately costing the Suns the game. Now checking 5AA traffic.
It's better to be a member with RAA Rewards. Download the RAA app and start saving today.
Hello there, interesting one. Got a mattress on the road near the airport. That's on Sir Donald Bradman Drive near Airport Road, so watch out for that. There's a breakdown in Marion Road near Alawoona Avenue. Cameras to slow down for Anzac Highway, Ashford, Osmond Terrace in Norwood, and Raglan Avenue in Edwardstown. The fantastic clearance sale is on now. Enjoy great savings like $100 off the Modena King single bed. Shop now and find your fantastic. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Cloud clearing this afternoon, a shower or two tomorrow, 20. Wednesday, mostly sunny, 25. Thursday, showers increasing, 26. Right now, it's 19 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Brenton Braglis. Tonight, reveal the organised crime illegal tobacco war raging in Adelaide. The microplastics choking SA waterways. One of them, the worst in the nation. Our exclusive report. Is working from home over? The rising number of bosses wanting you back in the office. And the verdict on the best supermarket choc chip cookie. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and on 9 Now.
Setting the agenda for South Australia. This is 5AA, always Adelaide. The 5AA Sports Show.
Get around the little bar!
Stephen Rowe and Tim Jennifer.
Pick the beauty!
Yes, 6 after 4 on this Monday. Good afternoon to you on this glorious afternoon here in Adelaide. The season is over and Chris Fagan's fairy tale is complete.
And there it is. It is Brisbane by 60 points. An Olympian victory for the future Olympic city. Citius, Altius, Fortius, Premiers by 60.
Hello.
Well, that was... Well, I hadn't quite heard that because I'm sort of, the noise was in the background. I didn't hear the actual finish of the game, but that is quite a bizarre finish to that. Anyway, welcome everybody.
This is a great song. Turn it up.
There we go. French national anthem.
It is.
They were awesome, Timmy. They played the perfect grand final.
They did just about, I reckon. They were tough, they were hard, they hit the scoreboard, their kids came alive, their experienced players did everything that was necessary. And no, it was nice for the journey they've been on and the hits and misses they've had coming in. And for Fagan, you could see the emotional response after the game. But look, it is sad because it's the last Monday footy review for season 24. So it's a little bit emotional for everybody. Now, give us a call.
Emotional for who?
Oh,
You?
I don't know, 8223
me.
00. Where was it won and who was responsible? Give us a call on that. But it was good, man. I know you had the opportunity to sort of sneak in there down right near the boundary line too. So
it was the boundary line.
How good's that?
The atmosphere was outstanding.
Give
Weather
us
was
a bit
great.
of a view on that.
Well, where I sat, so think of 3AW, the M's,
all the boundary
all of them,
lines.
ABC, all the way along. There's about 8 of us. I didn't have a game day role, but I was sitting down there. We had our 50 key clients to the left of me in Bay 53, so I was going in and out quarter time, half time, all that, do the drinks or whatnot. But from there, I could have literally put my hand on Chris Fagan's shoulder.
So he stayed down the whole game?
He stayed down the whole game. I was closer to the Brisbane box than I was the Sydney box, but I was mesmerised with him. He is the coolest, calmest, most collected, and the players play like that. Even when the coaches came down at the end, they were 60 points up, and started hugging, you could see him look over to them as if to say, hey, hang on, just pump the brakes.
Just hold.
When there was the photo, he
Just a
stood
bit
to
of
the
respect.
side. He just, they call him Uncle Chris, and you could see that. That must rub off on him. He writes hand notes. He's old school. So he'd go out with a clipboard, and you can see his handwritten notes. He'd walk 10 paces, stop on his own, gain his composure. He never touched the board once, as much as the magnets and all that. So he hands a lot of it upstairs.
Yeah.
And he oversees it, and then he just probably takes in all the information, hears what the guys say, and then he puts a conclusion to it. I'd say he's very good with word economy.
Yep.
He says as it is, and that's it. They go out there and they know exactly what to do. So if he's your leader, oh my God, I was mesmerised with him. He hugged one bloke out of all of them. I mean, I saw Phil Smythe jump down. They embrace because they're quite close. He's mentoring him. His embrace right in front of me, literally 2 metres, with Lee Matthews was special.
It was.
He didn't hug anyone else. He hugged him. Now, he's a board of directors. He helped get him there, along with David Noble, who we're going to have on a bit later.
Which is great.
And there were tears, both of them. It was, and you know, I could hug you, it's not warm, it's just a hug, you know, whatever. This was...
Yeah, we're yet to do that.
Well, okay. We won't ever hug. We're not hugging types. But that's a bloke that's the greatest player in the century. This is a 63-year-old bloke that's never played the game. They got put into that position by Lee Matthews and others. It was just amazing. And that was a hug of, we did it.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you this. How much do you reckon last year contributed to the way he coached and behaved on that day?
They learned from it. Yeah. Sydney clearly haven't. Well, look at the Swans.
And to be there once before,
Yep.
have that experience, it didn't come off and it was less than a kick, but I reckon he went away and went,
They studied it.
If we can get there again, I reckon
we're not doing this or this or this wrong.
I reckon he felt much better about it.
It's the old saying, we do it in business. He knew what he wanted and he knew what he didn't want. Now, guys, I don't want you to do that again, but boy, I want you to do this. They're only the second team this century to win from fifth.
Yes, which you'd be saying Bulldogs were the others outside of that.
The oldest coach ever, 63, not to play in an AFL final. They were 3 and 5.
Well, I saw a stat today. This is VFL, AFL history. There's been 46 teams that have lost a grand final that have reappeared the following year. 30 of them have won it second time around. So it's weighted, isn't it, to say I've had that experience. I don't want to feel that again. And they go the next step.
After the Crows draw, they were still below the Crows on the ladder in 13th spot. They went on to win 14 of the next 16. Remember, they lost their ruckman in the prelim.
Correct.
They've also lost Coleman, Duday, McCarthy and Gardner, who are in their best team. Mate,
and the list profile's pretty good. Let's have a listen to the coach. And, well, it's just a story of persistence.
last year was a big disappointment for us, but a day we were still proud of and that we learnt plenty from. We were able to put all those learnings into place and get ourselves a win and win a premiership. So that's how we've always approached things. We keep trying to learn, keep trying to get better, and everybody at the footy club's embraced that, which I'm really proud of.
Yeah, so there's a bit of a snapshot of what we were just talking about. Also, of course, Lachie Neale, what a performance. He once again...
He was best.
Probably the cleanest player on the oval that day,
Timmy,
wasn't he? Just
seeing
below
him
his
from
knees.
Ground level.
Just does not miss. Amazing. Doesn't fumble.
Oh, look, I'm glad Will Ashcroft got it, the youngest ever Norm Smith medalist, but this boy was clear best.
He was outstanding. Well, here he is on the emotions of winning.
I think that's been my sort of overriding emotion is pride for this club and this group. And after the heartbreaker last year, and season didn't start how we wanted to, but Fags and the coaching staff were so positive and showed us that we're doing a lot right, and just had to tidy up a couple of things.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think it's been a big couple of days for Lachie. I saw him on stage with the moon boot, looking after that heel, but to the winners go the spoils. Dane Zorko, I like this. He talks about the special moment of being asked to come on stage, but it's also you forget that he was captain for a good
he was promised it.
4 and a bit seasons there.
He was promised it.
And this, just have a listen to his speak.
Yeah, well, me and Faze came on this journey. Obviously, I was captain of the football club for 4.5 years. Experienced the lows and the highs. And Faze come to me and said, "You're going up on stage, and you deserve this more than anyone." He appointed me captain, and he just wanted to repay the faith of everything that I'd given to the club over the last 12 years. Selfishly, it was one of the biggest fears about leading the captaincy goals. That I knew this team had what it took to get to the grand final and win it. He actually promised me about 2 years ago when I handed the captaincy over, he said, "If we ever win it, you'll be the first one up there." So he stuck by his word on that, and that's the sort of guy he is.
How good's that?
Yeah, it was a bit of a different look too with the three guys lifting it up. I didn't mind that, and I'm glad they sort of invited him up and the like, and that was part of why they're probably such a close unit.
And again, Chris Fagan is such a player's coach. He didn't put his hand on that cup, and then when the players... They announced to come on, they all rush on.
Yeah.
He was 1 out, 9 back. And then they did a special photo at the end. They said, "Come on, Fags, in you get." And they laid him down the front like a little mascot, gave him the cup, he held it up, and that's the best photo. God, he must be good.
Fantastic. Yeah, there's a great photo of the Gatorade just pouring over his shoulders, and he hasn't felt it yet. It's just amazing. That's a great get, that one. Probably photo of the year. There's always a loser, unfortunately, and for Johnny Longmire, this has been a bit nasty. I think in the last decade they've lost 4 grand finals and 3 of them by big margins, and let's just have a listen to him post-game.
It's a hard thing to do. We've been able to get ourselves into the position of having an opportunity, and we haven't got it done. We didn't pass the test.
Yeah, that's...
5 grand finals for 1 win, lost the last 4.
The sad thing about that too was, during his media conference, they kept opening the doors, and the Brisbane players were coming in, and of course they were yelling and screaming and celebrating like they should, not knowing that he's in there trying to do a post loser presentation. That's horrible. That's a horrible moment. I think Adam Kingsley said, "Look, that's got to be fixed. You can't do that again."
How's the blood culture then? They have this blood culture. We stick together, play together. We never lay down. We never get flogged. We have, again, 60 points. Does John's halo just slip a bit, turns into a noose? I mean, he's lost the last 4, the last 2 got flogged. Heaney's star's a tad dimmer. Is his star twinkling? Is that a word? Twinkling a bit lighter? He was awful.
He was tagged.
He's too poor.
He was tagged.
Too poor finals.
But what you want when somebody's tagged, you want the others to lift. You want others to take control. So
it poses this question. I posed it to breakfast. We'll do it now. 822 300 00. Would you rather make the grand final and get smoked, or finish, 3rd or 4th?
Anywhere but. I think second is the worst spot on the ladder.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that. It is the worst.
By a mile.
So you'd rather be Port and finish in the prelim than play in a grand final and get smoked?
Like that. Yeah. Oh,
822 300 00. 50 lot of power
there you go.
A lot of people would say, well, you got to the dance floor. That's a tick. You actually had the build-up, the experience, and you got there, and 16 other teams didn't. Would you rather do that and get flogged, or would you rather not make it at all? That's a tough one.
Having seen my club get flogged, it wasn't good. I never want to experience that again. Thank you.
Have you say?
Give us a call. There was that nice moment you just mentioned that you were only 2 metres away from Lee Matthews and
I
Chris
felt
Fagan.
special just witnessing
yeah,
that.
Lee had a bit of a chat about it afterwards.
He's a man, I like him, I respect him enormously as a person, and I admire the role he plays as Brisbane Lions senior coach. If he ran for Prime Ministership today, he would be elected.
I mean, that's huge. Now, this is a bloke, Lee, who has a statue, the greatest ever of the century, who doesn't hand out accolades readily, or like
undeservingly.
He is very measured, Lee, and he's worked closely with him. Again, for those that don't know, Lee is on Brisbane's board, helped appoint him with our next guest coming up in David Noble. That's a massive accolade.
Yeah. But on Friday, of course, we were in Melbourne doing the show and the like, and we asked people to tell us, who's going to win, what's the margin, who might get the Norm Smith. But we said the closest with the margin will win that bottle of Black Guts, thanks to Rusden's.
Black Guts Shrez.
And it was this man, Ralph.
Let's get him out, Barker. Hello, Ralph.
And I reckon the Lions by 43. I just think that the last few games have actually come the goods in the second half, and I reckon they're going to put 4 quarters together.
Well, he was just about spot on. They
Well
played
done.
a fantastic final, and yes, congratulations, Ralph. We'll get that bottle to you, mate. Well played.
How's this one, Timmy? Unique Home Style Food text. Guys, second is the first of the losers.
Yeah.
Rob.
He's on the money. You ain't first, you last.
18 minutes after 4, and congrats again to Ralph. That bottle of Rusden Black Guts is coming your way in the Barossa Valley, home of the Black Gut Shiraz at rusdenwines.com.au. Plenty of time for your calls tonight, 8223 0000. Of course, it's our grand final footy review. Tell us how you enjoyed the weekend and the grand final itself. Warren Tredrea is going to join us at 5 o'clock tonight. David Noble, of course, used to be at the Brisbane Lions, and what a figure he is in their journey along the way. Daniel Garb to talk soccer, and of course, 8223 0000 for a $50 Powers voucher. We'll take your call straight after this.
Yeah, Tuggers, this one's a bit different. There's a mattress on the road near the airport. It's on Sir Donald Bradman Drive near Airport Road, so watch out for that. And there's a breakdown in Marion too on Marion Road near Alawoona Avenue. Cameras to slow down for Crossroad Clarence Park, Tennyson Street Carolta Park, and War Memorial Drive in North Adelaide. Australia, the national 3G network is closing. Check your tech so you and your family stay safe and connected. Visit 3gclosure.com.au and act before the 28th of October. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
David and Will invite you into the studio every morning with 5AA's live video stream of The Breakfast Show. Thanks to Foodland. Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The deadline to win $500,000 is midnight Sunday in the St. John Christmas Home Lottery. Can you believe it? $500,000! Plus, your ticket will stay in all remaining draws from our $10.9 million prize pool, including our grand prize draw, with 4 breathtaking $5 million grand prize home packages to choose from. Licence number M14618. Get your ticket before midnight Sunday. Support your St. John Ambos. Visit stjohnlottery.com.au.
Live life in the fast lanes these school holidays at Strike, the ultimate entertainment experience. With bowling, laser tag, and mind-boggling escape rooms, Strike is fun with the works. Search Strike Bowling Deals to get great school holiday offers.
Well, as you're looking for top-notch industrial commercial roller doors, shutters, automatic pedestrian doors, or automatic gates, Vulcan doors are supreme at keeping out what you want out and what you want in.
Now, I reckon these could have come in real handy for John Longmire's press conference.
Yes.
That would have, if you got a Vulcan door on there, he would not have heard a word what was going on outside, let alone the team celebrating. Vulcan doors would keep all of that out.
Well, and with the Vulcan, with a remote, he could have sat there and just closed it.
Correct. Yeah. Boom. And then
away went in the presser.
The cone of silence comes over.
AFL need to ring Vulcan.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. Keep the grand final in. Vulcan doors are the industrial and commercial roller door specialists. When you'll get friendly service, you'll get quality outcomes at a magnificent price. Just head to this, vulcandoors.com.au.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
When you're updating your computer and you want the best value, Harvey Norman has the best deals and biggest range. On a small budget, no worries. The Asus VivoBook Go is the best price laptop under $400. It has a large 15.6-inch display, Intel dual-core Celeron CPU, 4GB of RAM and 128GB storage. It also includes Microsoft Office 365 for 1 year, all just $388. Want something with more power? They've got that too, and it's still under $900. The Acer Aspire Lite has an Intel i7 CPU, 16GB of RAM and 512GB solid-state drive. It also includes a large 15.6-inch Full HD display and Windows 11, all for only $898.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Will retirement living suit you? You're invited to FIVEAA's free open home events across Adelaide from the 8th to the 10th of October to get a sneak peek of the lifestyle you can enjoy. Come along with family and friends to explore all our communities have to offer. You can inspect our display homes, discover our social activities, meet some of the residents and chat with our friendly team. Take the first step and search FIVEAA Open Home to RSVP today.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
Welcome back at 23 minutes after 4. It's our grand final footy review. $50 Pals voucher for you to get involved tonight. 8223 0000. Rowey and Timmy's lay of the land at 4:30. We're going to get a bit of an interesting look at what lies ahead for Crows and Port Adelaide with free agency and trade all ahead with this off-season starting right now, and we're taking your calls. And congrats quickly to Lachie Neale. He has taken out the Gary Ayres medal. Player of the finals, it's the AFL Coaches Association medal. So the final votes ended up with Lachie Neale with 26.5 votes. Isaac Heaney had 20, Will Ashcroft with 18.5, the top three from the finals.
Well played. Lovely stuff. Hey, McQualter. Andrew McQualter has been appointed the West Coast Eagles senior coach, so congratulations to him. He's got a 3-year contract to do so, and he's been, key pillar in 3 Richmond premierships alongside Damien Hardwick, and was yesterday informed by the CEO, Don Pike, that he was the successful applicant. So congratulations.
Well done. I look at him as a bit of a case study. So he was at Richmond, another one that was at Richmond, and I love coming from a successful club.
Yep.
You bring the IP and the experience. So when a player talks, you say, well, mate, I was 3 grand finals. I think I know what I'm doing, mate. Why don't you shut up and just watch the tape and do as I say? But he was runner-up to Yusei.
For the Richmond job.
Only a year ago.
Yeah. So, and look, that's okay.
So either Richmond got that wrong.
Yeah, well, only time tells these
Or
things.
Richmond is a really bad list and no one could have done it.
It is about timing when you get to a club.
I think so.
Our guest David Noble, when he picked up the reins at North Melbourne, there was going to be years of heartache there, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was.
Andrew McQualter spoke earlier today.
Very excited and humbled to be announced coach of the West Coast Eagles, and can't wait to bring my family over and live in WA and get to work.
Good on him. Well done.
Well
We
done.
wish you
Congratulations. Let's go to the phones. Kidman Park. G'day, Ange.
G'day, boys. How are you?
Excellent. What do you think of the game?
I'd like to tell you about... I was hoping Brazil would win, to be honest. I did pick Charlie Cameron to win the
medal.
Norm Smith, but I think he's got a bit of apologising to do in the next few days. I'm sure he'll catch up with that young fella and make sure he gets looked after pretty well. My thing is, I was talking about my grand final experience, but have you guys seen any highlights of this Levi Ashcroft at all, boys?
I watched him play in the under-18s recently. There was a game at Albany, and he was pretty impressive.
He'll be number 1, Ange.
Yeah, well, apparently he is 50% better than his brother. That's a big call.
Is that a measurement?
Well, you know what? He's got to win a Norm Smith now. So let's just throw that out. If you were to say he's potentially better than his brother, I think that's fair. And who knows?
If you just say, hey, he's going to be a very good player.
His brother had a knee recon, comes back, stars in a grand final, wins a Norm Smith. Please.
It's a high bar.
Now, boys, I'll tell you about my grand final experience. So 2007, I unfortunately got tickets to the game. I would have rather that year not to make the GF because that has hurt the club probably the last 17 years.
It wasn't a great day, was it, mate?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
No,
But anyway,
can do a lot of
let's
damage.
look forward to the cricket season.
Yeah, that's right. Well, of course, as I've been told on the unique homestyle food text, the AFLW is still going, of course.
Of course it is. Round 5.
Now, yeah, I was going to say about halfway.
We are halfway, so there's 11 games squeezed into 10 weeks, which makes it a little bit compressed. So there's Tuesday, Wednesday night games at points. We'll be on 5AA doing Friday night's game at Norwood.
That seems a bit rushed, doesn't it?
It is.
And the recovery, we spoke to a few of the players last week, and Gemma Houghton was one of them, just saying how much...
Carlton yesterday played off a 4-day break.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And seemed to run out of steam in the end.
They've belted in their last couple of games too.
There you go. Hey, Lee Matthews made a bit of a statement about the finishing top and not really having an advantage because of that bye prior to the finals. Just have a listen to his thoughts.
The problem with our system all of a sudden, there is a feeling now that because you've got the bye after the last home and away game, if you win the qualifying final, then you win the preliminary final, you're a bit soft preparation-wise going into the grand final. That's not right.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with him. I think it's given an advantage to the bottom four, not the top four. And why would we do that? So now I know there was some talk about having a bye before the grand final and allowing that to be the sort of the time off period, which then gives the 2 grand final teams, injuries and concussion issues, a chance to play in a fortnight. I'm for that rather than this, but I'd go back to playing 4 weeks straight.
There's a lot of text before we go to the break. Unique Homestyle Food text. I read one out. There was a tweet to the Bricky team this morning, and there's a lot along the lines of this. Dangers won a flag, Stingers won a flag, Levers won a flag, Frampton now Charlie Cameron. If Mitch McGovern at Carlton wins one, they'll all spew up. So this text is, so if I was a Crow, I'd be leaving the club because you're guaranteed to win the flag. It's not, they don't hand them out like lollies, but how's that for a number?
That's a
the
fair
last
pattern.
4 years.
That's a fair pattern.
A Crow that you would have kept. Blind Freddie would have kept.
Oh, yeah.
Their premiership players.
We are entering the off-season, so there's a lot to talk about. Rowey and Timmy G are going to go through what's happening for the Crows in Port Adelaide after the 4:30 headlines.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G. David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
The Premier securing Katy Perry coming to South Australia to be part of her concert series that otherwise was set to bypass South Australia. The TG Dainty president is quoted as saying of the Premier of South Australia, the energy and enthusiasm from the Premier really resonated with Katy.
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
We can confirm there has been no payment of cash.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
SA's own Respirico Healthcare has been supporting South Australians for 20 years. Our goal is to make a positive difference in people's lives. This month, we're proudly opening a new branch in Kilkenny. It will stock helpful devices for sleep, respiratory and assistive technology, with a focus on complex assistive technology needs. Ask about our education sessions and special offers at Shop 4, 10 to 14 Regency Road, Kilkenny. That's how you start making a positive difference. Respirico Healthcare, 6 stores across SA.
Here at 5AA, we're all about supporting local. Everyone can enjoy the Port Elliot Show. 2 days of family fun, October 12 and 13. Live entertainment, sideshows, trade and market stalls, animals, exhibits and horse events on Sunday.
Looking to make a meaningful difference? CMAX is seeking volunteers to join a groundbreaking clinical trial that could create a brighter future for those living with cystic fibrosis. If you're aged 18 to 55 and generally healthy, you might be eligible to participate in a study trialling a potential new treatment for this condition. Spend 3 nights at CMAX, attend 1 follow-up visit and get paid for your time. Want to learn more? Visit cmax.com.au. That's cmax.com.au.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Good afternoon, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. There's another meningococcal case in SA, a 13-year-old boy. Well, after more than 100 years, police have today handed over the keys to the Theberton Barracks to the builders of the new Women's and Children's Hospital. Lot 14 in the city will welcome another 500 workers as BAE Systems Australia is establishing a head office on site. And in sport, the premiership celebrations have continued today for the Brisbane Lions. Now checking 5AA traffic.
With hundreds of ways to save every day, it's better to be a member with RAA Rewards.
Hello there, that mattress on the road near the airport still causing some delays. It's on Sir Donald Bradman Drive near Airport Road. Also watch out for a crash in Happy Valley, Kennahan's Road near Bishops Hill Road. And in Elizabeth Vale, there's a blackout affecting the lights on John Rice Avenue near Winkleberry Road. Got FPOS? Got to have fees, right? Nope, not happening. Not with SmartPay, zero cost FPOS. Visit smartpay.com.au. T's and C's and minimum turnover apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast clear tonight down to 10, a possible morning shower tomorrow 20. Right now it's 18. We'll have more news at 5 and as it happens on 5AA.
G'day, Robert Irwin here. After a wild year wrangling crocs, I'm itching for a getaway. Lucky for me, I've got the G'day Parks app. With over 300 holiday parks to choose from, the G'day Parks app is the easiest way to find your next adventure. No croc wrangling required. Exploring, fishing, or just soaking up that Aussie sun. Here's good. Visit g'dayparks.com.au or download the app.
At Salvo's Home Care South Australia, we don't just provide care, we build a community centred around your comfort and well-being. Whether you need a hand at home or in the garden, help using your smartphone or assistance with getting to appointments, we've got you covered. Keep enjoying your favourite hobbies or discover new ones. Our services are as unique as you are. Talk to your local Salvo's Home Care experts today. 1300 111 227.
Are you working with your GP to achieve weight loss? Try Optifast VLCD shakes for a high-protein, low-calorie meal alternative to provide essential nutrition during weight loss. Optifast VLCD is for the dietary management of overweight and obesity and must be used under healthcare supervision.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
27 to 5, it is our grand final footy review. Treaders coming up after 5 o'clock tonight, and David Noble, the former GM of footy at the Brisbane Lions, played a massive role in building the club into what it is, a premiership team today. And of course, your calls, 8223 0000.
Thank you very much, Sam. It's the off-season for the AFL men's teams. And, Stephen, I thought I'd go have a look at where Port are right at this minute, if you can do the same for the Adelaide Crows, just to talk about, what's in play, what's required, where our strengths are, where our weaknesses are, and what we can do about that now, because this is that very important trade period coming up into draft and the like, and then you start a pre-season and you start the trial again.
Well, they say this period you can go up the ladder 4 places.
Oh, who come up with that theory?
Me.
Well,
you think about it.
Think
about it. You get your trade period right, you get your free agency right, you get your list management right, and you get your draft right.
It can help a lot, no doubt.
You can spring.
Well, Port have got a really interesting pre-season here because they've got Lukosius. I'll put down just ins. So Lukosius wants to come, so they've got to try and make that deal happen, right? I think Lukosius does suit a lot of things that we need. If we need, and Todd Marshall's under a cloud. He's had 4 concussions. So if he was to be medically retired, which could be a reality, then he fills that void straight away. But the other thing about Lukosius, and I love the Campo theory, is he can play as a tall wingman. And I really like that idea of him being, the get-out kick and then turning around and delivering it inside 50. I mean, that's pretty exciting. So the other end that probably a lot of people might be surprised at, I'm counting Sam Powell-Pepper as an in. Didn't really have it this year at all. And I'm saying that he's going to be fit, raring to go, and back into the mix of what I think we probably seriously... We missed him. There's no doubt about that. And there was no 1-for-1 in that situation. So that's exciting stuff. The outs, well, we know Soldo wants to go back to Victoria. They'll get some sort of a deal there. Probably, I think we had to give up a second rounder, so we might get one back. But it's the Dan Houston one. And this is where, and I have great faith in Port Adelaide's list management, but there was a text that came through recently, Unique Homestyle Food text, that said, Tim, surely if we trade Dan Houston, we don't send him to a team in the premiership window. And we don't want to strengthen a good team, because it's a reasonable call. Because if you say, okay, well, let's say he goes to a bottom 4 team, and you get, decent trade for him, and, it might be a first rounder and all that. So if you get that done, if he goes to a Collingwood or a Carlton or something like that, where they're sort of, he can give you a great upside. He is a All-Australian halfback twice who can deliver the ball on a two-bot bit. He's amazing. So he's a big loss for us if he goes, because if they can't get a deal done, he'll stay. So, but it's
well, then don't get the deal done.
Yeah, well, I think it's really important how they
on cricket. No, that's not
handle
enough.
that.
No, that's not enough. No, that's not enough.
I think.
Oh, sorry, fellas, you're going to have to stay. Okay, well, you said you would. You have to stay. Yep, done.
And they've got to do that to do the right thing.
Geelong did it at Radigalia, made you wait. Carlton did it with Gibbs, made you wait.
But if he falls over, does that affect the Lukosius deal? That's the other thing in that little equation. So delisting and retiring, we know young McCullum got delisted, Dixon McKenzie retire. There's also a rumour about Ollie Lord being pursued. Now, that also might come into the mix. Do you remember last year, Port Adelaide had to use Dersma? And, I loved Xavier Dersma, and I thought a bit of a loss. I loved him on the wing. But they had to have some sort of collateral to get some of those deals done with Zerk Thatcher and the like. So he ended up becoming trade because of that. And I reckon maybe something similar is bubbling around Ollie Lord, because there's probably good currency in him.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and the other thing with losing Dersma, and I'm with you, I thought he was great. He had a terrific year. He went to Essendon.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Burgoyne shone.
Yeah, correct.
Now, they wouldn't have done that if they didn't have someone waiting in the wings. So they would have gone, we don't want to lose him, but we're going to get that because we need to get that. You know what, guys? Burgoyne won't let you down. And he didn't.
And that's where I come into...
That's called list management.
Yeah. Where's our depth issues? And I think if you look straight up, you go, really, probably mids and forwards. Our forward line never really had a continuity look about it. We didn't know what our best forward line was, who was in it, how it moved, what we're supposed to do. And I think mids-wise, it's more so about the second tier, because at sample level, they finished bottom, and every time I went and saw them, it was, a decided lack of, what would you say, a quality midfielder that could come into that AFL side should they have injuries. And you don't want injuries, but it does happen. So I think that's an area they need to bolster without doubt, as far as, and then getting that forward line set up with the method and the mode going in, which we spoke to Campo about. So other than that, what to work on with the mids, they need to be better defensively. When we're all out and we're killing them, no dramas, but it's when it gets tough, it's like, well, how do you turn that back? And I thought they arrested that a little bit late in the season when they won the 6 in a row going in, but then in the finals it looked like it sort of got, definitely against Geelong it did.
I'd say to my middies, just watch how Brisbane did it in the finals campaign.
Yeah. And they've been doing it for a lot of years.
Oh,
it's a really good template.
But they're born that way. Dunkley's born that way. McCluggage is born that way. Now, Neil's probably the most defensive, but God, he can defend. They love tackling, chasing pressure, and then spread and move off with the ball. God, they were good.
So then the wings, it's part of your midfield. Burgoyne, we think, shone this year. You'd say there. The other thing is, how do you replace Houston? Does Josh Sinn go to a wing? Does Josh Sinn take the Houston spot if you don't get anything in to replace? Isaac Cumming going to Adelaide probably was the thought process behind that one. So
is it Lukosius?
Yeah, so that could be an option as well. So
is it Boakey?
Again. So
there's the big one.
Is it, to your point, Connor Rosey going back to halfback?
That's what I'd do.
Do they do that? So that's because the defensive wise, I think we've discovered Porter best with two talls and Bergman. That works for them as far as their keys go. And Bergman's done outstanding jobs, hasn't he? Playing above his height level. And, a lot of the good defences aren't, a lot of them aren't that tall.
No.
Harris Andrews is outstanding, but he's probably a bit of an anomaly as far as that goes. So.
Well, I think the model is now a hybrid, and they're little fellas that can get up and down the ground. Hawthorn do it. Geelong do it. Brisbane do it.
Yeah, and I think it worked better for Port Adelaide. So the other thing we know that they did a lot of work on this pre-season that they're going to have to do again is Port Adelaide have the lowest accuracy on goal. 42.6%.
But I thought they worked on that last
worked
season.
their butt off on it. I know, but you've got to go back to the well, because that's not going to help you. Because you're second for shots inside 50. Second.
And what did Scotty Campriali say? You got to get it between
0 and 30.
Correct.
That's our issue, because 51% there, you're having a shot.
But
every second go, right?
Well, that'll naturally lift it.
But 21% of goals. So it says it's either too far out, too wide, you name it. So they've got to fix that issue there. And fourth for most marks inside 50.
Okay.
but again, probably too high.
Yeah. Can we go back to the ball movement one? So Ken has a certain look about how he wants to play. Chad Corns is the forward coach. He has a certain look about how he wants the ball moved forward. There's a connection that needs to be had midfield forward, and that is getting it 0 to 30 out. Do you need to bring someone in from the coaching range with a different lens to... Now Ken might be pig-headed with that.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to have him
No,
this week.
shut
Yeah,
up.
we can
We're
ask
playing
that
him
question.
there and we're doing that.
But the other thing is about to go in the bat probably a little bit for the forward line is that lineup was never settled, was it? So
No.
your thoughts about mode and method, it had to change week on week because of the personnel kept changing, and that was a real issue.
And if you're a midfielder, that's hard.
It is.
You know what you need?
What are we doing this week?
You need continuity.
And that's, I think,
Yeah,
one of the
that's
issues
a
they
great
had.
pickup.
Luke Kelly, midfield coach, gone. Now, here's a big one. If Porter going to make this year the transition year with Josh Carr, he's going to need to release a lot more of that responsibility upon the midfield coach.
Yep.
So maybe there's somebody coming into that position from a coaching point of view.
Well, that makes sense.
It does make sense if that's going to happen. So, yeah, we'll see how that one rolls out. But the BNF, I think they got theirs Saturday. Friday night, is it? Yeah. And the Crows Saturday, is it?
Crows Saturday.
Yeah, right. So Friday night, Port Adelaide got their BNF. Probably don't get a lot of prizes for this. I think Buttles will win it. I think Horn Francis will run second, and I reckon it's either Houston or Drew for third. There's my top three.
All right, excellent. You can get interactive, Port fans, 8223 0000. How are you feeling on the back
Your
of
top
that?
three.
There it is. A question, of course, just from JD on the unique homestyle food text line for you, Tim, while we're talking about Port Adelaide. Who would be your strong key forward focus next year?
And that's where I think they wanted to give it to Ollie Lord. And that's why I probably hope that he doesn't get involved in all of this. But if he's to stay, he's going to be your big tall who's going to crash packs and try and take grabs and all the rest of it. So I think it's going to be Ollie. Didn't get a start this year because of the injury, and no continuity after that. So I think that's what they'd like to do, but let's see what happens over the trade first.
Comprehensive. I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
well
that was
done.
great.
Thank you.
What they've done, this is me, where they've come from and what they need to do. And let's not beat around the bush because the Crows finished 15th. They had 8 wins, 14 losses and a draw. They started the season 0-4. They got pre-season wrong because they lost Ray Healy, they lost their connection and their speed of ball movement, and it took them a while to get back. So get that right from day one. The coaches get together, they spell it out to the players. This is what we're working on because this is when we're at our best, because they clearly got that wrong. They were the 9th best scores for. They were number 1 last year, so they went backwards, and they were the 10th for scores against. So they're trying to be a bit more defensive. That DNA, get it, grab it.
Felt like it backfired though.
No, it's not working.
Especially early.
Yeah. Here's the thing: they lost the Suns by 6 points, Eston to 3 points, Maggie's to 4 points, lost to Richmond by 8 points. That was that embarrassing game, and Geelong by 5 points. They drew the Lions. They beat Eston by 2. So that record of 8 games decided by less than 8 points, and 7 of them by less than a kick. They lost 5 and won 2 and had a draw. So they didn't improve that area. So the whole pre-season they worked on ball movement, attack, speed of ball movement, midfield forward transition, and winning tight games. Bop-bong.
Yeah.
So work that out. They halved the showdowns, smashed Eagles and North. And I think sadly they went backwards this year because clubs like Hawthorn and Fremantle progressed and jumped over the top of them. So I'm just giving you facts. So you need to know the facts to work out where you need to go. So they're facts. Are they undeniable facts? That is actually what happened. And would you say Hawthorn and Fremantle's midfield depth and talent is greater than the Crows? And we all think that that's their number one problem. Okay. So Matty Nix, it's his 5th season. He's got 37 wins. He's got a 35% win-loss record. And we know what his DNA is. He spells it out to us. The players know it. They do it. That needs adjustment. Whatever that is, it needs adjustment. You can't just be a plucky team. It's not working. You need to be able to be an attacking team. And I think he's going to feel a bit of pressure this year. I know he's got 2 years to go, and I don't want to put him in the gun or anything like that, but they wouldn't want to start slow again. They want to get this part of it right. And I'm a person, when I look at clubs and how they build, and Brisbane's one, and Sydney's another, and Geelong, you look at them with envy, and I think Port do it well with recruitment. You wake up one morning and go, oh, we've got Jeremy Cameron. How'd that happen? It's stealth. They've been working on it for 2 or 3 or 4 years. You know, Hawthorn's another club. You wake up, did we get Buddy Franklin? How the hell did we do that? Look at Brisbane. We got Lockie Neal. How the hell did Brisbane end up with Lockie Neal and Danaher. I can go through their list. So I would like our club by stealth to be building behind the scenes with the key people and whatever that is. Let's hope they're doing it. Crosby and F is Saturday. Ben Keys, I think, will win it. I think Jordan Dawson will be runner-up. I'd throw a blanket over Isaac Rankett, Mitch Hedge, Rory Laird. Darcy Fogarty will probably end up in the top 6. I don't think Matt Crouch won enough games. So okay, they're the facts. So Tim Silvers, we've got him on later in the week, has done an internal review, and that's what he could lay in front of everyone. Fellas, that's where we are. That is where we are. We need to be better, and how do we get better? Well, let's start with the draft. I'll park all the other stuff. They got pick 4. I don't want them to split it, disappear up their own clacker. Pick 4 will get you a Sid Draper. We hear West Coast are miles into him. So let's say he goes to the West Coast Eagles, you don't get the local lad. There's another kid called Murphy Reid, and there's another kid, 194-centimetre midfielder. He's different to all the others because they're all 5'9"ers. He's Josh Smilly, I think is how you pronounce it. He's a big, tall, Bontempelli type, right legger, goes like that. I think they've got to prioritise that midfield and the midfield build. Please don't use pick 25 and Alex Neil-Bullen. Use a future for that, or trade out Himmelberg, whoever you've got to do, but don't waste that 25. Because the best ruckman in this draft is another local lad, Alex Dodson. 203 centimetres, still growing, massive upside. So I think that's what I want. I want midfielders, and I need a ruckman. I need to build that midfield with...
That's your apprentice ruckman, you're saying?
Well, that's your apprentice ruckman. Isaac Cummings coming, I know that. But they need speed. They need good decision makers. They need Dawsons and Rankin types. And look, I'm sure they're into that sort of stuff. As I said, we got CEO Tim Silvers on later in the week. He's done, as we call, the internal review. And then let's wait and see where that lands. I've been being a little bit cheeky playing cricket, so we haven't heard of anything. Because maybe a lot of the people they're wanting to get or attract to Adelaide, and they're finding it very, very hard, are maybe still involved. And we're hearing one of them is Scott Borlace. Now, Nord Kid, he's been the development manager for the Lions for a while.
Acted as a runner as well, I reckon.
That's it. I told you about a leadership and culture appointment. It might be in that sort of vein. So that's a great name. Attract people that are from a club that's won a flag would be a terrific get. We're hearing Brett Montgomery as maybe a senior assistant. But if you go through the on-field, the off-field, attracting, retention, and obviously trying to get people to Adelaide. I keep hearing everyone I speak, Rowey, you know how hard it is to get anyone here? What to Adelaide? Are you serious? Have you heard that? It's hard to get people to Adelaide?
Well, I haven't been involved. I don't know I've heard it as such. I mean, you can almost use the Geelong method. Geelong's, you know why a lot of them like Geelong? Because it's sort of a big country town. Yeah. That's what they say about Adelaide.
Well, go get Chris Scott.
So you can be the same.
I'd be into Chris Scott a million miles an hour. Now, as your next coach. That's what I'd be doing. Senior assistant, coaching director, there's list management, recruiting, footy director, strength and conditioning. I think they've made 3 changes there through the strength and conditioning.
Yeah, we saw that announcement from
all that sort of stuff
Darren
they've
Burgess.
floated. So, look, there's a bit of work to do. We've got to trust that the people that are making those decisions have landed them. There's a couple of names I've given you. They're a long way back. And the reason I say that is they're 15th. And there's a lot of Crows supporters thinking, wow, we're miles off of Brisbane. Well, you can get it pretty quick with a good off-season. Let's hope they've got the right seats. And the
Collingwood, 17th to prelim.
Well, that's exactly right. So, 82230000 is the Sportline number.
Get involved, have your say as the off-season begins. Let's check your roads.
Yeah, Tugger's got a crash to watch out for at the moment in Happy Valley. That's on Kinahan's Road near Bishops Hill Road. And in Elizabeth Vale, there's a blackout affecting the lights on John Rice Avenue near Winkleberry Road. Cameras to slow down for Crossroad Highgate, Dorrose Melrose Park and West Street in Ascot Park. Craving a getaway? Score an Adelaide to Singapore and London multi-stop flight return from only $1,735 per person with Singapore Airlines. Book now with Flight Centre. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
The deadline to win $500,000 is midnight Sunday in the St. John Christmas Home Lottery. Can you believe it? $500,000! Plus, your ticket will stay in all remaining draws from our $10.9 million prize pool, including our grand prize draw, with 4 breathtaking $5 million grand prize home packages to choose from. Licence number M14618. Get your ticket before midnight Sunday. Support your St. John Ambos. Visit stjohnlottery.com.au.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
When you're updating your computer and you want the best value, Harvey Norman has the best deals and biggest range. On a small budget, no worries. The Asus VivoBook Go is the best price laptop under $400. It has a large 15.6-inch display, Intel dual-core Celeron CPU, 4GB of RAM and 128GB storage. It also includes Microsoft Office 365 for 1 year, all just $388. Want something with more power? They've got that too, and it's still under $900. The Acer Aspire Lite has an Intel i7 CPU, 16GB of RAM and 512GB solid-state drive. It also includes a large 15.6-inch Full HD display and Windows 11, all for only $898.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Built like a brick house. Basic Trailers build all types of trailers here in Adelaide. Locally made with Australian steel, you get 12 months warranty and factory direct pricing. Visit basictrailers.com.au. Basic Trailers. Basically, better.
At Coles, celebrate footy finals with great value on match day must-haves. Like Red Rock Deli potato chips, 150 to 165 grams, now half price at just $3. We're helping lower the cost of footy finals with great value, hands down, at Coles. Offer ends Tuesday.
Introducing the all-new Volvo electric excavator. It's quiet and has no emissions or exhaust, so it's perfect for confined spaces. The battery has 48 volts and it's got zero tail swing radius, whatever that means. 2.7 tonnes of brilliant bright yellow, but it's green environmentally, but it's yellow, quite literally. Inquire today through Warren Mining for all your electric excavation needs, but also all your construction equipment needs. Because Warren Mining do it all.
SA's own Respirico Healthcare has been supporting South Australians for 20 years. Our goal is to make a positive difference in people's lives. This month, we're proudly opening a new branch in Kilkenny. It will stock helpful devices for sleep, respiratory and assistive technology, with a focus on complex assistive technology needs. Ask about our education sessions and special offers at Shop 4, 10 to 14 Regency Road, Kilkenny. That's how you start making a positive difference. Respirico Healthcare, 6 stores across SA.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
7 minutes to 5 on this grand final Monday footy review. We have Treaders coming up after 5 o'clock. We're taking your calls, 8223 0000. We just talked about the trade and free agency space and where the season lays at the end of 2024 for both the Crows and Port Adelaide. You can have your say on that, or the Lions flag on the weekend.
Well, a lot of people are talking.
Oh, no, you're right there.
Get that up.
Gee whiz. Yeah.
Settle yourself.
Comparisons.
Yes.
So Brisbane in 2017 had 5 wins, way down the bottom. Crows played in the grand final. So their trajectory from then to now is 5 wins, finals, lost to prelim, finals lost to semi, prelim, runner-up in the grand final last year to premiers. Right, that's their trajectory under Chris Fagan. They've got a strong board led by Lee Matthews, who's a footy great, knows what success looks like. CEO Greg Swan. I can go on and on. And there's a bit of that. Our next guest coming up was in there in David Noble. But if you have a look at their team, it's a bloody good team. It's a football team. And no surprise that they've now won a flag. They recruited and brought in absolute talent, high-end talent. You go through that premiership team. Danaher, Neil. What a finals campaign he had.
Outstanding.
Yeah, there were 8 players they brought in from other clubs, and not just players that other players didn't want. They actually got them and did well. You know the Crows' record from there, 15, 12, 10, bottom wooden spoon, 7, 8, 11, and then 8, 15th. So clubs win premierships, Timmy, and you've always said that. I'll say that again. Clubs win premierships.
Let's go to Chris at Walkerville. G'day, Chris.
Rowey, you have seriously read my mind, mate, because that's exactly what I'm ringing up about. So just hear me out here, all right? Forget all the spin that we hear from Adelaide about, and I'm a massive Crows fan, forget all the spin we hear about the values and standards that we keep hearing, because I don't care about that. Fagan took over the Lions at the end of 2016. They were rock bottom. They finished bottom in his first year. They've brought in guys like Neil, who was picked 58 in the draft, by the way, Danaher, Archie, Dunkley, Cameron. Now they've made the finals in 6 consecutive years, and we're back to that grand finals and now a premiership. And you compare that to our club since 2017, we are absolutely miles off, Rowey. We hang on to list cloggers because they're good blokes. And I'm just angry. I don't see any change. I see a few players coming in, maybe a couple of coaches, but we're not going to make the finals next year. And it's just not good enough. It is not good enough. And we're going into the draft and the trade with the same blokes in the same role. And it's not good enough, Rowey.
Yeah,
And
well, I
know
said
you're
that to
about
Tim
I
Silvers
know you're
after
about
the
to
Richmond game. We're going to stay with us, Chris, because we're going to get Tim Silvers on later in the week. We're still organising a time, and let's give the club a chance to respond. They might be waiting for the final to finish. There might be some good announcements this week, and let's hope, they have made changes in the areas that every football person in this state knows they need to. But again, we'll get David Noble on. Neil from Fremantle, not bad. Danaher, Dunkley, Archie, Charlie got him from the Crows, McKenna, they were all premiership players. And they had McCarthy, who I think is one of their best small forwards, who they got from Geelong, who wasn't fit. There's another 3 players that were injured that could have made that. That's called
their depth is,
selection, 100%.
And depth helps in all areas.
This build,
let's go to Seacliff. G'day, Paul.
G'day, guys. Just one point for your previous caller, Chris. I'm a massive Crows fan as well, and what I do is I follow the Crows all year, and then come to finals, the Crows aren't in it, and so I switch over and I start supporting Port Adelaide. But my point, guys, is I wanted to talk about the coaches in Adelaide. I would have thought, all the pressure on Ken Hinkley and half the supporters don't want him there, and I think he's a great coach, but surely his management must be searching for, sussing out the Melbourne clubs, like potentially Richmond and the Western Bulldogs, to see if they might move their current coach on and create a job there for Ken, because surely he's not going to put himself through what he's been through the last sort of 2 or 3 years with Port Adelaide. I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on that, and also if either club, like Port Adelaide or the Crows, have a bad start, like a tough draw at the start, and either club, is 0-4 win-loss, either club would ultimately move their coach on straight away, wouldn't they, and get an assistant to take over?
No, let's not.
Well, there's no definites in that, Paul, but the pressure doesn't go away. You're right there. The pressure just doesn't go away, especially in a 2-team town.
Brisbane just won a flag from zipping 3. So.
They did. They did. Hard up against the 5 o'clock news. Mail out that Nathan Bassett's been courted by Melbourne. Why would the Crows not be into him?
Yeah, good call. Good call.
Well, I would.
Great footy brain.
He is unbelievable.
And the other word around Melbourne courting Rory Sloane. That's an interesting one too. We'll do more of that after the 5 o'clock news. Warren Treadray is going to join us too, and more of your calls.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
All right, hold still.
This is the sound of an unnecessary bowl cut.
Whoa, wait. Check money plan. No need to trim the budget that much.
Phew.
There's better tools to help you budget, like Money Plan in the CommBank app. One of many simple tools from CommBank to help manage your money. And they just won CanStar's Bank of the Year award for Best Digital Banking for the 15th year in a row. Conditions apply when using the CommBank app.
From the creators of the 2021 and 2022 Drive Car of the Year comes the next big thing. The all-electric 7-seat Kia EV9, the 2024 Drive, and now World Car of the Year. Visit your nearest Kia showroom or find out more at kia.com.au.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Ready to contribute to cystic fibrosis research? CMAX is looking for healthy volunteers to take part in a cystic fibrosis clinical trial. This condition is a multi-organ disease, primarily causing respiratory dysfunction, affecting thousands of people worldwide. If you're aged 18 to 55, you may be eligible to participate in this exciting new research opportunity. Experience 3 nights at CMAX, attend 1 follow-up visit, and get paid for your time. Interested? Visit cmax.com.au.
At OPSM, we are dedicated to delivering you everyday excellence. Until October 16, get $100 off prescription glasses or prescription sunglasses. Minimum spend $350. T&Cs apply. See website for details. Book an eye test today at OPSM.
Up-to-the-minute news for South Australia. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Clear tonight, down to 10. A possible morning shower tomorrow, 20. With the 5 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher. Police have launched Operation Eclipse as Adelaide's tobacco wars escalate. Detective Superintendent Shane Addison says 2 people have been arrested and cash seized amid a wave of arson attacks, assaults, extortion and money laundering.
There's been a series of these over time. Obviously the 7 that we've identified since May. We think that they are linked together. Whether they are all done by the same people is still under investigation.
BAE Systems Australia is establishing a head office at Lot 14 in the city. They'll be the joint builders of Australia's AUKUS submarines. Treasurer Stephen Mulligan says about 500 workers will move into the precinct's Innovation Centre.
I should also point out just how good this is for Adelaide's East End as well. Today's announcement will almost double the number of people working here at Lot 14 into the future, and that is great news for this part of the city as well.
There's been another case of meningococcal disease in SA. A 13-year-old boy is in a stable condition in hospital with the B strain. It's the 24th case in SA for the year. Greens MP Tammy Franks will retire from the upper house at the next state election. She says while she's enjoyed much of her time in Parliament, she still has a bit more in the tank to see out her current term, but she won't be recontesting her seat.
I was looking at the idea of another 8-year term, and I was always honest that I would have never made it through the full 8 years. Now's the time to call it. My party is looking at selecting new faces, fresh faces, and they will certainly take us from strength to strength.
SA Greens nominations for the Legislative Council pre-selection opened today. Kevin Rudd is under pressure to justify how he spent $150,000 on overseas trips while based in the US as our ambassador. He's travelled to Germany, Switzerland, the UK and Singapore, as well as twice to Australia. His travels have even struck a chord in Labor ranks, one MP saying he's Anthony Albanese's unofficial ambassador to the world. Critics are questioning why the ambassador has attended overseas talk fests instead of relevant ministers being sent from Australia. Well, the man who kidnapped Cleo Smith in WA has failed to have his sentence reduced. More from Chelsea Bowden.
37-year-old Terence Kelly is serving 13 years and 6 months behind bars for abducting the 4-year-old girl from her parents' tent at a campsite north of Carnarvon and holding her captive for 18 days in late 2021. Earlier this year, Kelly's lawyers argued in the WA Court of Appeal that the sentence was manifestly excessive and said his mental impairments and a childhood trauma should have been given more weight during sentencing. But 3 Supreme Court judges disagreed with this argument, today dismissing the appeal and upholding Kelly's original sentence.
Now turning to 5AA sport, and former Richmond and Melbourne assistant Andrew McQualter is the new Eagles coach. He has signed a 3-year deal with West Coast after edging out Hayden Skipworth, Stephen King and interim coach Jared Schofield. He says his first job is putting his team together.
We need a great coaching group. This job can't be done well by one person, so I'm really open to a coaching group that the best candidates we can get, the best people we can get, and we'll just work through that over the next period of time.
Retired Adelaide champion Rory Sloane may be headed east. There are reports Melbourne is keen to pick him up for a coaching role. Fremantle have delisted winger Ethan Stanley after he played just 2 games for the Dockers. And Australia has clinched a 3-2 series victory over England in the men's one-dayers in the UK. Now checking 5AA traffic.
It's better to be a member with RAA Rewards. Download the RAA app and start saving today.
And good afternoon. There's a crash to watch out for the moment in Happy Valley, causing some issues on Keenahans Road near Bishops Hill Road. And in Elizabeth Vale, there's a blackout affecting the lights on John Rice Avenue near Winkleberry Road. Cameras to slow down forward to Kettleville Terrace in the city, Goodwood Road, Colonel Eye Gardens and OG Road in Marden. Like char-grilled chicken breast with bacon and avocado, then you'll love Polo Avocado, a flavourful favourite now at Faster Pasta, but only for a limited time. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Clear tonight, down to 10. A possible morning shower tomorrow, 20. Wednesday, sunny, 24. Thursday, a late shower or 2, 29. Right now, it's 18 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Brenton Braglis. Tonight, Reveal, the organised crime illegal tobacco war raging in Adelaide.
The microplastics choking SA waterways, one of them the worst in the nation, our exclusive report. Is working from home over? The rising number of bosses wanting you back in the office. And the verdict on the best supermarket choc chip cookie. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and on 9 Now.
Forget having mulch or compost dumped on your driveway. It's messy and it gets in the way. Instead, order cubic metre Hulker bags, full of living earth, compost or mulch. Hulker bags are amazing. They can be delivered where most tip trucks can't get to, and it's Australian Standard certified. And because your compost or mulch comes in a large Hulker bag, it's easy to access with no mess. Google Hulker bag now and have yours delivered. Spelled Hulca. Hulker bag.
At Southern Cross Care, we know caring for a loved one with dementia can be challenging. And finding respite care can be complicated. We also know that when you need respite, sometimes you need it now. At the Pines Cottage in Netley, we offer daytime and overnight respite. Our compassionate team supports people with dementia and other complex needs. Learn more about the Pines Cottage and how you can access respite now. Call Southern Cross Care on 1800 852 772.
Is your tech causing chaos? You need Geeks to You. Got a constantly crashing computer, weak Wi-Fi, problematic printer? Our fast and friendly Geeks are available to come to you. No fix, no fee, Geeks guarantee. Geeks to You, part of Officeworks.
Stay informed, get involved. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
Just one thing to watch out for. Something is going to happen at the end of the grand final, regardless of who wins or loses, that it's going to affect either side, and it is going to be pretty emotional and an incredible surprise to everyone in the footy world.
So everyone was asking over the weekend, BT, what is it? What is it? We got donuts on the weekend after the grand final.
Was it Zorko up on the stage?
We said either team could win and it'll be emotional. So no one really knows what he was leading to.
Would have Lee Matthews hugged John Longmire if they won? No.
Nope.
So it wasn't that.
Yeah, I think he backed out of it eventually.
He did.
The day after.
So he
and
made
said,
it
"No,
up.
I was only making it up."
So he made it up.
It sounds like it.
Well, everyone on the Unit Homestyle Foods text line, they were waiting for the big announcement. We got absolutely nothing. Still plenty to come in our grand final footy review. 8223 0000. Love your calls. We've got David Noble coming up, Daniel Garb as well. $50 Pals voucher if you want to get involved on the show. But right now, let's chat to someone who knows all about premiership glory at the MCG.
Throws it up long. Goal square. Treadray!
Warren Treadray.
The Premiership Cup to the captain, Warren Treadray. Oh, Treadray! Party time!
On the 5AA Sports Show.
Yes, Warren Treadray, not joining us in the studio tonight. You're still in Melbourne, Treaders.
Yeah, I'm still down. Not in the city of Melbourne, but down a little bit south past Geelong. So
nice.
A few days of R&R with the family, which is always good. But after a pretty impressive grand final to watch.
Well, tell us about your grand final experience.
Well, I took my son Leo along. It's the first time to the MCG. Fancy that, eh? First time the MCG goes to a grand final, so he had a wow of a day. But I thought it was a wonderful game of footy. Two system-based teams, chock full of talent. Brisbane's intensity was far superior early to the Swans, even though the Swans kicked the first couple. But I just thought, well, if Brisbane misses that easy one with Cameron, and I think the other one through Danaher, which probably wasn't an easy shot, but they settled better. They kept their intensity up, and the game was pretty well over soon after that because they were just ruthless, and they probably could have won by even more goals if they kicked straight.
I think you're right there. What about, I suppose, the way and the method in which they went about it, and some of the stars that lit up? I mean, they had a great balance across the young and the old, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, we've seen how good Ashcroft is, and I touched on a joke on Friday about academy value. Well, that kid's he was a number one pick equivalent from 2 years ago. His brother's going to go there this year, who's earmarked to be number one, if not worst case scenario number 3. So the reality of the situation is they just had people stand up, and if anything, I was talking to my son Leo about it, and I'm like, Brisbane has beaten Sydney the way Sydney beat Port Adelaide. It wasn't a contest game. Yes, they ended up ahead in contested ball and clearance and all that, but midway through the second quarter where they were getting ripped to shreds, I think it was 7-1 or maybe 7-2 in that quarter, they were plus 50 uncontested disposals. it was a ridiculous amount of uncontested marks up, and marks inside forward 50 was 11-1 at one stage, and that's only midway through the second quarter. So it was just, it was really surprising from Sydney. They lost their whole structure. They couldn't get any speed on the footy, and they refused to man up. And because they refused to man up, Brisbane just slowly picked the ball apart when they had to go into slow play, dumped it long. Every time there was a contest on the ground, whether it was centre wing, forward or defence, they won the ground ball. They handball back to the anchor, and all of a sudden they just released their own game of footy. It was a real masterclass, and for an independent sitting there who wasn't invested in either team winning, I thought it was just a brilliant display by Brisbane.
So much for the Bloods culture. Excuse me, their last two grand finals, they've been smoked. Maybe the Gen Z don't believe in it. That's just a bit of a knock and a dumb comment, obviously. But John Longmire, in more honest opinions, he's lost his last four grand finals. Now, is that coaching, system, talent? What are they getting wrong?
Well, it's certainly not talent. I think, and as I said before, I think both teams aren't talent-based teams. And when I say that, they are chock full of talent. They are system players, because you look at how they lose McInerney in the ruck, they bring in an able, competitive ruckman in reply. So for me, Fort, and that was for Brisbane. For me, you couldn't say it's not talent for Sydney. I think it was execution. I think it was their mental side, their ability to come to compete. I think nerves got them, and they didn't take opportunities when they presented it. And I just felt they were just lacking that little bit of intensity that we'd seen from Sydney, 8 days earlier against Port Adelaide, where they absolutely ripped us to shreds. So I think it's, sometimes it's execution, sometimes it's the moment. And you're also playing the best bloody teams there are. So let's cut them a break. But you touched before I came on, boys, about what BT was revealing. The big one doing the rounds, and I had a footy board catch-up, and the big one doing the rounds that I'd heard from some of the journos I know in Melbourne was that, and this is a rumour, right, and it had been dropped in certain circumstances, that John Longmire was sitting potentially on a 6-year, $10 million deal to go to West Coast. Well, we know that Andrew McQualter's got that job, but it does, does it mean that potentially that was a chance to happen? I don't know. He's clearly going to stay on at Sydney, because there is a strong belief that Dean Cox has got that succession plan in place to take when John Longmire finally leaves. But when it comes back to losing your last, four
grand finals,
of 6 grand finals, he's in contention though. He's been to 6 grand finals in his tenure. He's only won the one, but geez, he's a talented coach. I think he's got great system, and it was two of the best systems I think in the comp. And just what happens though, one team breaks down under pressure, and that was Sydney, not Brisbane.
I asked Timmy this question: would you rather make a grand final and get smoked, or just finish in the premium?
Well, you're asking a bloke who's been in a grand final and got absolutely smoked.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
The reality, I know what you're doing, Rowey, but the reality is, mate, what do you want to do? You want to live life, die wondering, or do you want to go, oh, it's too hard? I'd revisit that 2007 grand final tomorrow if I could play again.
Yeah.
Because you know what, that's what you play for. You play for a shot at the. It's like the old theory when in the Western: do you go down shooting or do you hide behind the little shed? You go down shooting. You want to be a part of winning. You've got to chase greatness, and that's my theory. I know a lot of fans say, "Oh, you embarrassed yourself." Yeah, we did. But oh well, it's a badge of honour in a way because you got there.
Yeah. Hey, Treaders, we were just talking. Rowey and myself, we did a little segment on sort of where we are now, and as far as what's on the table, the Dan Houston possibility move, how do we cover that off and the like, and then of course the outgoing retirements and what we need to do there. My sort of assessment upon it was that we need to probably increase our depth in midfield, and that's not probably at AFL level, but at SANFL level, and then forward lines we have to find out who's going to play on that forward line and get some continuity around that so that we can set up a system and a method going in that suits that lineup. But we never really got started on that this season, did we?
No, we didn't. And obviously you look at where Ollie Lord was set to go. We talked about it on Friday. I'm not one to be trading him. I think he's upside. I think he's the guy that proved 2 years ago in the finals, or just over 12 months ago, he was our best forward in the finals. So
he didn't get a start this year, did he?
Injury in the pre-season, then probably Charlie doesn't play as much. So what do you need to do? I think you mentioned the sample, getting the depth in the sample. For me, that's going to take care of itself as part of the reserve sample discussion with the sample. Understanding things are heading along in a really positive direction in that case from both sides. But for me, it's about getting the best talent on your list. Get the best talent available on your list. Keep developing it and keep getting opportunities and keep knocking on the door in finals and getting yourself in a position to shape it. Because we look at it and it's frustrating, don't get me wrong, but you still walk away going, there's 17 losers in this comp every year. Sadly, for Port, my team, and for Adelaide, the other team in town, we're both losers. We didn't quite get there. And you've got to do everything you can to get to the system. Yeah, Dan Houston wants to go, but unless the deal's right for Port, Dan Houston's not going anywhere, I'd suspect. Yeah. He's got 3 years on a contract, and he understands that. That's been well documented from his side, also from Chris Davies, who represents the footy department of Port. Who else wants to go? Well, Port's also in the discussion for Perryman. Missed out on some other options. There's a few other bits, but you're about making a list better. But more importantly, the thing I want to see us do from the club's perspective, and Chris Davies on behalf of the list crew and the footy department has said we've got to get into the first round. Get in the first round in this draft is the talent. Everyone wants to start throwing ahead, we'll give you future picks. Reality is this draft is earmarked to be a lot better than next year. So every club wants to be in this year's first draft. There won't be many teams throwing many first-round picks out because they know the talent levels, and they also know that Tassie's not far away as well. So I think all these things need to be discussed. There's been some movement and some people joining the off-season that, things are going to change a little bit back of house in terms of inside the footy club. So they're all positive signs.
Best and fairest on this weekend, Friday night, the 4th of October. I've picked Butters, Horn Francis, Drew Houston. Any change to that? Anybody else could poke into that top 3?
No, I don't. Top 4, top 3? No, I don't think so. No. It all depends. I know in my votes with FIVEAA's Player of the Year, I've probably lent slightly towards Horn Francis ahead of Butters.
Yep.
But I think it can go either way. And when we're picking a 3-2-1 and got to be brutal sometimes and leave out blokes who've been unbelievable because other people's games are slightly sexier, if you know what I mean. Yep. Whereas the best and fairest votes go on your ability to do your job and how well you do it. Do you do it well and beat your man, or are you absolutely outstanding? So there's no doubt that both Horn Francis and Butters particularly will get big votes in that process, and Houston will give it a shake too. And probably, as you say, for consistency, there's probably none better than Will and Drew.
Yeah. Hey, do you sit on list management?
In what context, Rowey?
Like when they have a meeting, are you in all the meetings or just every?
No, I'm in a footy committee decision.
Okay.
So I'm part of planning. I'm part of salary cap. I'm part of. But I don't make the decisions. I have a vote and we have a discussion. I ask questions because those guys report to a board. If that makes sense.
Yep.
And if I'm consulted for an opinion, I'll make that opinion. But my job is clearly, and this is probably where the fans probably are learning too, as what a footy director or a person. We've got 3 who sit on our footy committee: Rob Snowden, myself, and Cos Cardone, who chairs it. But as part of that, there's Chris Davies, the list manager, Jason Cripps, the CEO, will sit on it, and sometimes the president as well. So you do have a thing, but you're also got to employ your people to do their job. And I look at our list management footy department for a long period of time. I think we've done it very well in terms of trading and recruiting. So I'm across some of the information that's going on, but not that you get an update, a couple of times a week. You don't need to be ringing the phone every day because these guys have got to do their job, and their phone's ringing hot from managers and clubs trying to do deals.
Yeah, okay. So I'm just saying from just a hypothetical. So you sit on the board, you sit on some of these committee meetings. Dan Houston's management said, I'd like to get a deal done. He said, but look, if I don't, I'll stay. So if I was sitting on that board, I'd say to the list management, well, just don't get the deal done. He stays.
Yeah, but you also got to go. You can say that, Rowey, and I understand why you say that. Because you want to keep your best players, you want to contend. But if someone's going to go, we'll give you pick 1 and the kid wants to go, you go, hang on. You're just not staying. You've got to look at what the future is.
So the next question is this. So would then you or the board say, unless it's 2 first-round picks, he's staying? And then you weigh
that's a discussion that's got to be had maturely amongst a lot of people. Okay. And we're going to lean on in my instance, Port Adelaide, in the Jason Cripps of the world who are living with live salary. They're speaking to the AFL about how far Tassie's away, what they think those things are going to look like, what South Australian talent, because I can sit there and go, no, don't do anything. But I can't tell you all the best young South Australian players because I don't watch the under-18. I'm not watching PAC Cup games in Bendigo. You know what I mean? Those types of things. So you've got to lean on your people. But unless it's going to be a deal, it's going to be complimentary for Port Adelaide, I suspect that we might be in a situation where that could happen.
Yeah.
But
well, there was Pepley, wasn't it? Pepley was wanting to go.
Our day.
Yeah.
What was that?
Well, Pepley was wanting to go, and Sydney said, no, you got 3 years. No, you stay. Plenty of players have said they want to go, and there's no deal done, and they stay, and they go on to be still great players. So I think Houston needs to go in that category for me, for Port.
Yeah, well, I think there's those mature discussions that need to happen, and Dan absolutely knows that too. Dan knows that unless the deal's going to work for Port, there's no problem. There's no point even going any further. And this is, it's been reported today from Timmy, the AFL, and I'm not privy to what's actually happened, but I've seen a report that apparently Port were insulted by what Carlton offered. So, if Carlton want him, I think let's be mature here on everyone's case. If you're going to go and knock on someone's door, a player who's contracted, who might be keen to leave, and you agitate to go, hey, we want to get you, I think it's imperative on your club, when you know that there's someone who's under contract for a significant period of time, to do a deal that's respective of the situation that person finds them in. Now, if they're out of contract, right, and we face that with Gold Coast too. Like, it's been reported with Lukosius' back-end money, journos have said it's over $1 million. So you're going to relieve Gold Coast of that salary cap pain for a couple of years. You need to have a mature discussion to go, hey, this is where it sits. You can't just go and agitate and get someone out and then go, oh, no, I'm not going to play, because you've actually gone to this player, you've convinced this player, the player's committed to you. It's imperative on you to get the job done. Now, I saw one many, many years ago with Wayne Campbell. Wayne Campbell looked to go. Fremantle agitated to go. It didn't end up happening, and he stayed at Richmond, and it worked, as you say. So I just think now we've moved so far forward that people can say all they want, and probably the only reason that Dan probably told a white lie is because he didn't want to create the media ruckus that he knew it was going to, if he did more interviews about him potentially leaving.
All right, mate, will you enjoy the Great Ocean Road? We'll see you when you get back.
Yeah, and apologies to those two cockatoos who are just screaming right.
I can hear them.
Jeez,
good. Unbelievable.
They're not bad, so we'll do, boys, and
enjoy nature.
Footy finishes and trade starts. Bring it on.
Cocker one and cockatoo.
There it is. Good on you, Warren Treadray, our guest.
Excellent work. 23 minutes after 5. Interesting news coming through as well via The Age, that Clayton Oliver is being pursued once again, and Geelong are the one really interested in trying to get him on the books. So that will be a fascinating one over the next couple of weeks. Let's check your traffic.
You've got a crash to watch out for at the moment in Happy Valley. That's on Kinahan's Road near Bishops Hill Road. In Elizabeth Vale, blackouts affecting the lights on John Rice Avenue near Winkleberry Road. And watch out for cameras on Everard Avenue in Keswick, Alawoona Avenue in Mitchell Park, and South Terrace in the city. Enough is enough. Make a painted promise to end violence against women and children. Sign up or donate at polishedman.com. Together we can create a safer future. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G.
Australia's original and biggest cheese festival is back, baby. October 19 and 20 in Rundle Park. Get ready to savour the finest cheeses, craft beers, gourmet foods and fermented treats from across Australia. Indulge in all the delights, learn from famous chefs and food personalities, or just kick back and relax in the park. It's a weekend you won't want to miss, so make sure you keep it on 5AA for your chance to win tickets to get along and enjoy. Or you can get your tickets from cheesefest.com.au.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
When you're updating your computer and you want the best value, Harvey Norman has the best deals and biggest range. On a small budget, no worries. The Asus VivoBook Go is the best price laptop under $400. It has a large 15.6-inch display, Intel dual-core Celeron CPU, 4GB of RAM and 128GB storage. It also includes Microsoft Office 365 for 1 year, all just $388. Want something with more power? They've got that too, and it's still under $900. $900. The Acer Aspire Lite has an Intel i7 CPU, 16 gig of RAM and 512 gig solid-state drive. It also includes a large 15.6-inch Full HD display and Windows 11, all for only $898.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Salvo's Home Care South Australia provides holistic, personalised care to help older Australians live independently in their own homes. They can help with domestic assistance, nursing and personal care, transport and shopping assistance, social support and more. No entry fee, no exit fee, no basic daily care fee, just genuine care. Call 1300 111 227 to learn how Salvo's Home Care can assist you or your loved ones today.
I like this text. What does everyone end up at? Beep, 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 Geelong.
Yeah, well,
are they going to get Smith?
Well, Bailey
Box
Smith
C.
looks like it could.
What if they end up with
turn
Smith
out?
and Oliver? Oh, man.
Wow.
Attention, South Australians. Attention, attention. RAA Rewards is here. RAA members have long enjoyed a wide range of deals and discounts at different checkouts across SA.
Yes, and now there's even more ways to save with RAA Rewards, whether it's upsizing your daily coffee, saving on car gear, or getting discounts on zoo and movie tickets.
Well,
that's easy.
How good's that? Rory, we're off to the zoo. Members can also access a huge range of deals and upgrades at some of the best restaurants, wineries, pubs in SA. When they book online, just head to the RAA website or download the RAA app to find out all ways that you can save.
It's excellent. It's better to be a member with RAA Rewards. T's and C's and exclusions apply. See RAA website for details.
Win a mortgage-free lifestyle with the St. John Christmas Home Lottery. There's 4 incredible $5 million grand prize packages to choose from, each with a luxury car and $1 million in cash. With a jaw-dropping 63,000 prizes, every ticket has a 1 in 10 chance of winning a prize from the staggering $10.9 million prize pool. Hurry, buy your tickets now. Visit stjohnlottery.com.au and get your tickets today. Licence number M14618.
There is care in simplicity. Our experienced team understand that keeping things simple and easy is the best approach. Visit simplicityfunerals.com.au or call us 24/7 to get started today. Simplicity Funerals. Easy, respectful, simple.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
28 after 5, David Noble, former Brisbane Lions GM of football, to join us after 5:30. Looking forward to that. The Premiers over the weekend, the Lions. And if you want to get along and see your Adelaide 36ers, their first home game is this Thursday night at the AEC. The new look Sixers, you can see them in action. We have a double pass to give away, 8223 0055. Be part of the action. Be all in for NBL 25. You can get your tickets now at Ticketek, or you can win them on 5AA.
Here's a text. Timmy, would you do a deal for Houston for pick 2 to North?
Pick 2?
Pick 2. They got pick 2. All you're thinking.
Can you... You know, if it was pick 2 in the second rounder, maybe, yeah.
They got 2
pretty
and 22
attractive.
then.
Pick two's not enough for you, you don't reckon?
Well, you just heard Treader say they want to get into this draft.
You can split pick 2.
I want to get on.
You can split that.
Yeah.
So you could get 2 first rounders out of pick 2 if you really wanted
You
to
might
trade
end up
one off
with
and keep the
10
other.
10 and 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That still gets you a good pick.
Are you doing that deal? See, I'm no. He is not leaving my club next year.
I'd have to. There's a lot of good midfielders in this draft, so keep an eye on it.
All right. We didn't get an answer then, did we?
Come on, Tim.
I'm saying no to just pick 2.
Okay.
I want something else, thanks.
Valuable.
Let's go to Early Beach. G'day, Steve.
Timmy, Rowey, how are you guys?
Good, buddy.
Steve.
Couple of things, and I'm glad I've just come on before David Noble's come on. Look, 2017, who brought the list together? David Noble. 2024, who's part of that Brisbane Lions list? David Noble. What are the Crows doing, boys?
That's my last question to him, Steve. I'm going to say, my last question to Nobes, after we talk the Bathurst and all of that, is this. Dave, are you sick of the Brum Brums? Brum Brum is in Brum Brum cars.
Yes,
sick of the Brum Brums? What if the Crows were to ring you? Would you entertain it?
And the second thing is, where is Sloaney? Why is he heading to Melbourne, and why haven't the club tried giving him some sort of a leadership or even an assistant role at the club? Why would you let a champion like him, with the knowledge that he's got with this young midfield that's coming through with the Crows, to let an experienced head like himself get away to another club. I just can't see Sloaney walking out of this club. You know, his heart and soul is in Adelaide. Give him the opportunity to at least give him a couple of years with this young midfield that's going to be going through the club, because as a Crow supporter for 30 odd years, to see a guy like him go is a disaster to the club. They're the sort of players that you build your club around, one, with experience, and two, with a knowledge, and three, just the way he presents himself is just, he's a leader. He's definitely a leader. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Well, Steve, we'll put that to Tim Silvers later in the week when we get him on.
The upside is the reports coming through that Rory Sloane is being targeted for a coaching panel job at Melbourne, but he's actually speaking with Tim Silvers about a negotiation around, well, what can I do? Is there anything I can do
Let's wait and see with
before
Tim.
he makes a decision?
Tim, are you entertaining Rory? Yeah, we are. We've got this role, that role. Ultimately, it's his call, isn't it?
Yep.
So let's wait
But
and
it's
see.
good to hear that he's talking to the Crows already about, well, is there anything here first before I look at options elsewhere? He wants to be an Adelaide Crow. 29 minutes to 6, we've got the headlines coming up, and David Noble next.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Good evening, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. A 13-year-old boy from Adelaide is in a stable condition in hospital with meningococcal disease. Police have launched Operation Eclipse as Adelaide's tobacco wars escalate. Greens MP Tammy Franks won't stand for re-election in 2026. And in sport, Andrew McQualter has faced the media in Perth after being unveiled as the new Eagles coach to lead the club's rebuild. Now checking 5AA traffic.
With hundreds of ways to save every day, it's better to be a member with RAA Rewards.
Hello there, no major issues on our roads at the moment for the drive home. In Elizabeth Vale, though, there is a blackout affecting the lights on John Rice Avenue near Winkleberry Road. Cameras to slow down for Fisher Street in Malvern, Osmond Terrace Norwood and Peacock Road in the city. Fast food shouldn't slow you down. That's why Zambero use only the freshest ingredients, which means it doesn't just taste good, it leaves you feeling good. Zambero, Feel Good Mix. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, clear tonight down to 10, a possible morning shower tomorrow 20. Right now it's 17. We'll have more news at 6 and as it happens on 5AA.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Oasis coming to Australia in 2025, and they've revealed the places they're playing. Melbourne and Sydney are the two places. Now, the only outstanding, the big caveat that you won't see on your ticket sales site, but everyone has, is that if these two blokes can get along for long enough to make it to Australia.
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
By the time they get to Australia,
they might actually be physically punching each other on the stage. Could be one of the greatest shows ever.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Nearly 1 million Australians get a pathology test every week. Almost all these tests, like blood tests, are free because they're bulk billed. 70% of all medical decisions rely on pathology tests. Doctors depend on them to diagnose illness, disease and infection. But these services are under threat. So to keep pathology accessible for all Australians, we need funding to keep pathology bulk billed. We need our voice to be heard. Visit keeppathologybulkbilled.com.au. Authorised by LWET, Australian Pathology Canberra.
Hey mate, I need a couple of 2x4s and 4x6s moved down over here.
Mate, why are you yelling?
Sorry mate, I'm just used to it.
There's no need to yell. In fact, there's no need to do much at all thanks to the all-new electric excavator by Volvo. With no noise and no emissions, there's really no worries. Inquire today through Warren Mining and
enjoy the sound of silence!
The expert hearing team at Hearing Australia gives all Australians the quality hearing care they deserve, which is why we are Reader's Digest's most trusted hearing brand for the 4th year running. To celebrate, get your free 15-minute hearing check for adults and $0 fully subsidised hearing aids for eligible pensioners. Why trust your hearing to anyone else? Book an appointment today with Australia's #1 trusted hearing brand.
Hearing Australia.
Other services may attract fees. Conditions apply under the Australian Government Hearing Services Program.
No, it's a pleasure
So look around at your leisure.
Experience caravanning the way it was meant to be. Island Star simply do it better. New or used, go to the people you can trust, Knowles Island Star Caravans. With Knowles, you're protected by a nationwide guarantee and better after-sales service. Knowles Island Star simply do caravanning better.
Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans.
An Australian study will be launched to test a new Novavax vaccine to join the ongoing battle against COVID and flu. The Adelaide investigation, led by Fusion Clinical Research, will involve people aged 65 and older, and Fusion is seeking volunteers to take part. The participants will need to be already vaccinated against COVID. You will be paid for your time. Interested? Go to fusiontrials.com.au or call 7077 6996.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
It's 24 minutes to 6, our grand final footy review. Daniel Garb coming up shortly, and 5AA's Golf Day is back for 2024, partnering with Phil Hoffman Travel. You've got all your favourite 5AA presenters, some sporting legends, all there on an unmissable day, the 11th of October on the Friday at the stunning Glenelg Golf Club. You can be involved as well. For your chance to win, head to 5AA.com.au, register now, and you might be a lucky winner. Don't miss out. All thanks to Phil Hoffman Travel, creating moments you'll never forget. pht.com.au, head there for exclusive and hundreds of exclusive deals.
Well, the Lions played, I thought, the perfect grand final. They smashed the Swans in every aspect of the game. Joining us, a man that, well, helped build this Lions premiership team, squad and club, David Noble, former Lion GM. He's currently Shell V Powers Racing CEO. He joins us now. Nobes, congratulations. I bet that put a little bit of a smile on your dial.
G'day, Rowey. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, look, it was a very proud moment. I'm wrapped for all, current and past players and staff that were able to enjoy the the journey of the last 8 years, mate. It's a lot of hard work gone in by a lot of people, and they did a phenomenal job on the day.
Did you go?
No, I didn't. We had all the kids up in Queensland with a couple of their mates, so we were badly watching the TV in the pool lounge. So.
Okay. They're a study, the Lions, and I've gone through when Chris Fagan first took over, and it's a similar timeline to the Crows and trajectory, but it's a totally different one. The recruitment, the selective recruitment, and you're a massive part of this, to get Neil and Danaher and Dunkley. I go on to Archie, Charlie Cameron, McKenna, who was in the grand final team. McCarthy's there that didn't play, Duday. I could go on and on and on. It was selective recruiting. Just talk us through the mindset and the list build of that for us, Nobes.
I think, Rowey, I landed the year, it was 20 was there, I landed, then we went through the process and put Chris in place, and we just had an exit of, young players. Elliot Yeo had gone and a few others. And I think what we looked internally was, what were the practices that we were using ourselves for recruitment, be it draft or be it, talent acquisition, free agent or trade. And we pretty much reviewed our own processes first and foremost, and we got better and more efficient about the information that we gathered of players, their families and their partners, and we tried to build an environment that allowed all personalities to be embraced and to learn and grow. And that was Fags' big aspect for me. He was a coach by nature and by trade. He knew what his strengths were. He knew he could mentor. He had a game plan. And that was what we went to work on.
Hey, Dave, Lachie Neale, tell us how you got him over, because he was playing terrific football at Fremantle, and we all thought that, there's a future there for him. But you guys, crowbarred him out of there and got him up to Brisbane. How did that all come about?
Yeah, g'day, Timmy. It's a fascinating story. I sent Dom Ambrogi up to Northern Territory to initially talk to Timmy's manager and Lachie. We were lining up to get Lachie as a free agent in the following year. We'd agreed to terms with Link McCarthy, his good mate from down the southeast. And one thing led to another, and Lachie got keen to come, knowing that Link was coming, and we were able to. We had enough trade assets in that year to get it done, and we went to work, and we didn't actually tell Swanee for a week. Well, I sort of got into a bit of trouble on that. But anyway,
I love it.
We went over there and, we sort of went in the darkness of night and constructed a plan, and it all came together. And, before we knew it, Lockie was really keen. And
wow.
It was a great match, particularly him and Fags. I mean, Lockie wants to coach. Fags not only, mentored him in regards to playing, but in regards to that leadership and that coaching. And it was a match made in heaven of those two. It really was.
Well, there's that one, which I was intrigued about, and that's an unbelievable story, and I love it. The other one, I reckon, when you're down that path of, again, leadership and leading the way, you went and got Luke Hodge when it finished at Hawthorn, and he comes to you guys, and a lot of people said, he's finished, he's played 300 games and flags, you name it. He played 41 games for you guys, and he must have been an incredible influence. I saw him play the games. He was just dictating traffic from back there, and how good was he for that young group?
Best on-field coach I've ever been involved with as a player.
Wow.
He would stop meetings, come up, ask the person who was doing the edits to go back, hey, we've missed this bit. This is something that, we've got better as a playing group. It came about, he'd retired. We'd had a conversation with Fags, and it was almost a bit of a throwaway line, hey, mate, if you ever feel like you've still got something left in the tank, reach out, and one thing sort of led to another, and the arrival of Hodgie on the back of Charlie that year really solidified some credibility for us, I think. And he turned up, he had his best pre-season, and he was in the best shape from a skin fold perspective that he'd ever done. He didn't rest on his laurels. Hodgie went to work on himself and delivered himself in the best possible condition that he did, and he played 40-odd games.
Charlie Cameron's the one. Why'd you come and get him off of us? No, we'll never forgive you for that one. Well, how did that one transpire?
Well, I had a great working relationship with him, Rowey, as you know, when I was there, and I had a bit of a sense that he might be up for a move. Thought that he could really make Brisbane his own ground like we did with Ed. It was a little bit of that in my thinking around, you can, now make the Gabba a bit of your home ground like we did with sort of Ed. And, one thing led to another, and, there was an opportunity that we stepped into, and, we went after it. So, there's a few others that we didn't, but, he added that spark, he added that energy, that, vibrant personality that he's got, that engaging aspect that we felt that we needed.
Yeah, country road, bugger, it makes me spew up. Danaher, is he going to play on? You'd know him intimately. He's a different cat, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not close to many there at the moment. I'm only from what I'm reading. He is. He's a great example, I think, of the environment that, even after I left, Joe just landed as I left Rowey, and to cater for those guys in a different format. Joe lives on the other side of the border. He travels up to Brisbane as far as I know. And, the club's comfortable in allowing, Joe to sort of be in that space. So he's been able to develop other aspects of his off-field, but still been able to deliver great performance.
Well done. Are you sick of the Broom Brooms yet? We'll get to that, Bathurst, this weekend. And if you are, should I get the Crows to give you a call? Would you consider coming back, Nobes?
No, I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing, Roy. I've got a lot of challenges in front of us. We've got Bathurst in. It's actually next weekend, not this one coming.
Next weekend it is. Yep.
Yeah, but that's all right. And then we've got Gold Coast, and then we venture down to
Adelaide,
to the great state of South Australia,
yes,
and come and do the Adelaide event. So probably three of my favourite events, and Bathurst will be a challenge for us this year. We didn't have a great Sandown, but I've loved it. It's challenging, different skill set. The rhythm of the business is a little bit different. It's not every weekend, so I do get weekends off. But I've loved and embraced the challenge of moving sports.
Well, you're also still, being able to crowbar people out of other teams. You got Kostecki joining the team in 2025. You're still doing it.
Yeah, I haven't lost that talent acquisition ability yet.
I love it. That's unreal, mate. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. It's it's a great acknowledgement, for our team. The Brodie's chosen us. I think he nearly was contacted by everyone. He sees a great future with us and Ford, and to have Brodie driving for us in 2025 is very exciting. So yeah, we're stoked that he's going to be on board.
And he'll team up with Will Davison?
Yeah, Will will stay. Unfortunately, we had two drivers, and you get into that particular difficult decision where you've got two ripping people that you have to choose, and unfortunately for Anton, it wasn't him, but he's found his feet with Team 18 for next year. So at least he stays in the paddock. But yeah, Brodie will paired with Will, so we're very excited around what 25 looks like.
I can talk like this, Dave, because I'm a thick-set fella myself, but Kostecki's got a big ass. He's going to need a big seat. Have you allowed that in the budget? He's a big rooster.
Yeah, we have, Rowey. I've been doing a little bit of work with him in the background. So I've accessed a few of my old contacts to give him a head start towards next year. So, he's a very committed, young man. He's keen to be as good as he possibly can be, and we think we can create an environment that allow him to do it.
Yeah, well done to Bathurst. We'll catch you at Velo Adelaide 500 in about, November. When is that? November 14 to 17.
Yeah.
So well done.
Yeah.
Hey, Nobes, thanks for your time. You'd be very
Done a great
proud.
job, mate.
A big build back in the day when you started in 16. You'd have a grin on your face. It's a holler club that win flags, and I'm sure you have a little bit of that in it. So, mate, thanks for your time.
No, thanks, guys. Thanks for the interest.
It's a couple of amazing stories there from him, wasn't there? How to get Lockie Neal, getting Charlie Cameron, and it's just the hard work done behind the scenes by guys like him sets it up for the whole group to then take it and win a flag, but he's put those pieces together.
Not in weeks, years. Not months, years. Years out. You heard the news. You can't just stumble over, let's get Tim Ginnivan. No, you've got to put work into it.
That's why I asked about Hodge as well, because he was an important part on going, where's the standard? How do you win a premiership? Well, here's a guy that does it. He's done it 4 times. He knows exactly what's going on. And they got the benefit of that, didn't they, for 2 years?
It's a great study. It's a great study,
but
that club.
So much relationship-based stuff too, isn't it? It's so important. 13 minutes to 6. You can call in 8223 0000. We'll take your calls next. Let's check your traffic.
Yeah, no major issues on our roads at the moment, although there is a blackout affecting the lights on John Rice Avenue near Winkleberry Road in Elizabeth Vale. Some roadworks, Yorktown Road near Adams Road, Elizabeth Park, and Fullerton Road near Woodford Avenue in Fullerton, affecting Citybound. And cameras, Bradley Grove, Mitchell Park, Crossroad, Highgate, and Wakefield Road in the city. Craving a getaway? Score an Adelaide to Singapore and London multi-stop flight return from only $1,735 per person with Singapore Airlines. Book now with Flight Centre. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Catch 5AA each Thursday night from 6:30 as Adelaide United star midfielder Stephen Moore presents The World Game. It's the very latest in the world of football, thanks to Football SA, bringing South Australian communities together.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
When you're updating your computer and you want the best value, Harvey Norman has the best deals and biggest range. On a small budget? No worries. The Asus VivoBook Go is the best price laptop under $400. It has a large 15.6-inch display, Intel dual-core Celeron CPU, 4GB of RAM and 128GB storage. It also includes Microsoft Office 365 for 1 year, all just $388. Want something with more power? They've got that too, and it's still under $900. The Acer Aspire Lite has an Intel i7 CPU, 16GB of RAM and 512GB solid-state drive. It also includes a large 15.6-inch Full HD display and Windows 11, all for only $898.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
At Simplicity Funerals, we have been keeping funerals simple and easy for over 40 years. Visit simplicityfunerals.com.au or call us 24/7 to get started today. Simplicity Funerals. Easy, respectful, simple.
Hi, comedy star Jason Alexander here. I've been flown to Australia to tell you you can get almost anything on Uber Eats, like chook? Chook? How do you say that? Snags, Mozzie spray,
and chewy. Okay, what is this like? What is this a joke? Sangha? Okay, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore.
Get almost anything on Uber Eats.
Now, rain, hail or shine, there's one passionate team working hard to maintain one of the world's most immaculate playing surfaces. That's Adelaide Oval, no doubt. And if you're in charge of an oval, sporting field or community space, this team is now available to you. How good?
Well, this is genius, I reckon. They're renowned, the Adelaide Oval Grounds team. They'll bring their expertise to any green space and they'll work to your budget. Don't think, it's Adelaide Oval, you can't afford them. No.
Give it a go.
See, efficiencies of scales. They've got it all.
Yeah.
They don't have to go out and buy a Cora or a mower. They've got it all.
Got it all in the shed.
They've just got it all. Adelaide Oval Turf Solutions will help you prepare your space for excitement, achievement and countless memories.
Correct. From turf curation and construction to maintenance and repair, Adelaide Oval Turf Solutions will give you the base for you to build on. Search Adelaide Oval Turf Solutions today.
As well as tax cuts for all taxpayers, household and eligible small businesses will receive energy bill relief. And soon, people with an existing student loan will pay less overall. Visit supportingaustralians.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Get ready for footy finals with Ladbrokes. Jump on the trending bets with a popular same-game multi. Plus, now you can fast-track your picks with new stats and results from the last 5 games. Chances are you're about to lose.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
Yes, 8 minutes to 6. Daniel Garb to join us shortly. 8223 0000 is the number. You can call in, get involved for a $50 Powers voucher.
Before we go to Ken, a unique home-style food text a number along these lines. Apparently Paul Roos is saying there's some scarred Sydney players. At the back of the Crows losing 2017, we lost Charlie and a few others since.
Yep.
Who would you hand-pick, Timmy?
From Sydney.
What, from Sydney?
Well, they're scarred.
No,
you might be able to
I'll
move
take a few
them.
of them. I'll tell you
well,
now.
you're not going to get the Gordon and the Heaney types, but...
Yeah, the thing is, when you looked at them, that forward line wasn't very scary on paper, was it?
No.
And
Marty, McLean,
McDonald. Yeah, it didn't
Didn't fire a
produce.
shot.
And yeah,
Braden Campbell, would you look at him?
He's a good young player. Academy player.
Yep.
I reckon. Ollie Florent. They did a, you know how Fox is the team of the week?
Yep.
From the 18 teams from around. You might have a couple of players in each team in each position. They did the entire Brisbane team in positions and put Florent on the bench.
Oh, wow. Gee whiz, there you go.
Well, you think about it. They won every position.
enough,
You
yeah.
name it. You name a Sydney player that won their position.
Yeah, probably Ollie.
Florent. Yeah. And they made it.
Grundy probably won his position.
Oh, you reckon?
Yeah, he had
I
it.
thought he got towed.
Well, he won the.
Nah, he got
won the
towed.
headouts.
I don't think he
He was awful.
Yeah.
He's naught from 2 grand finals.
Well, I thought he had a better game than what I thought might happen. So anyway, let's go to Eagle Farm.
Will
Go to Ken.
Hayward?
Hey, Kenny.
There, troopers.
Kenny boy.
It's great, boys. It's great to be on holiday, so I can sit back and actually listen to your show, mate. Now, so I'm glad that they're putting it on.
Beautiful.
I've got 4 quick points. They're not long.
Okay.
I'll say hello to all the guys in Port Pirie and Whyalla and Port Augusta, all the soccer and the football boys that I haven't seen for 20 years. It was great growing up there, and we had a great life playing. And just hopefully some of them get on the phone and give you a ring. So I haven't heard them, but they're all great sports people.
Nice cheerio.
So and another thing, the Crows, right? We've got to get away from this business. I mean, like kicking round the corner. Only people like Isaac and people that are good players can do that, right? I mean, that big ruckman, he should have been pulled over that Rory. I mean, great player, but mate, just kick a straight drop punt for goals. I don't want to see them. But look, if they do that any time at the start of this year, any game now, from now on, if they don't kick a straight drop punt for goal, right, drag them. I don't care if we lose the game, mate. Drag these players and let them understand from 40 metres out, 50 metres out, on that angle, that's the best angle ever to kick on. And half of these clowns keep missing it, mate, and they're getting paid 300 grand a year to bloody kick the goal, right? So that's another thing that
We'll
really...
try 6, 8, 900,000, Ken.
Yeah, well, that's right. You know,
He
that
undersold
really
them.
disappoints us.
Yeah, okay.
And you know, this business about there is a reason why we all have a dig at Port Adelaide about the no teeth business, right? I mean, it's all just a joke, really. It's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
They've got their ways. They call us the Chardonnay boys, right?
Yeah.
The wine lovers and all this, the richies. Well, we have a go at them because. If we ever go at Port, right, is because they like to wear the prison bar Guernsey. Now, prison isn't a good place to go. So why are they all big note in prison? I'll tell you why. Because when you go into prison, you're supposed to get all the best health, you get the best medical, and you get all your teeth done.
It's a long bow, Ken.
That is
Long bow.
That's a $50 Pals voucher, bar, because he was taking us through all sorts of places, and he's home on holidays. He's given that a lot of thought. He had 4 points, and wow.
Well, there you go. Thanks, Ken.
It's landed there.
We got another Ken. Let's see. Any Cheerios for you, Ken?
I'm going to get locked up so I get my teeth fixed. There you are, Ken.
Got a good dental plan, apparently.
Hang on till I stop laughing. I got nothing to laugh about. I'm going into Flinders tomorrow for stomach surgery.
I hope you're right, Ken.
Yeah, I'll be right, I think. Anyway, the reason I rang, I wanted to talk about this idea of finishing third or fourth and that, but just before that, I can't get my head around why Ken Hinkley and now John Longmire are getting their teams into finals. But at the end of the day, there can only be one winner, and geez, I'd love I'm a Crows man, as you probably know, but I'd love my team to get into the finals.
Well, we did, and then we had a camp, we got flogged, and we've been bottom ever since, Ken.
I know,
So how'd it do us?
And my son's a Richmond supporter. Would you believe?
Wow. Well, that's
anyway.
good.
What
Kick
I wanted
him
to say was, oh, he's already out. He's a good bloke. But the idea of saying you'd rather finish third or fourth than second by getting thumped, it doesn't make sense to me at all.
No,
I mean, I'd rather see my team be there on the day. At least it means, geez, we're a chance to win the flag. You can't know in advance that you might get thumped or lose or win.
No, but if you get the choice of either winning...
Why would you then say, I wish we hadn't made the final?
But that's right. It's a question, Ken, and you'd rather... And I would be the same. I played in the grand final against the Eagles and got smashed. But I'd much rather the week, the experience, the excitement, the not knowing, the running out there with all your family, and then it just didn't happen.
So what do you say, Tim? You think... Let's say 2007,
no, it's saying you already know the results, so you go, no, I don't want to finish second.
You'd rather be
That's
there.
the hypothetical.
Yeah.
That's right.
The hypothetical.
That's
so
right.
you always want to make one because you think you're going to win it.
Of course you do.
And then you've got to go in thinking you're going to win it. So that's the way you've got to prepare. So that's the thing. You know, for poor old Longmire now, they've got 4, which now definitely plays on your mind.
That's
and
demons.
To break a trend like that is not easy.
And with the 4 grand finals that he's lost, 3 of them are over 10 goals.
That's the bit that really hurts.
Massive
And the
margin.
last 2 in a row.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. He's got a halo. His record, outstanding. Can prepare a team systems. You heard Treaders talk about it, but I think that halo's slipping.
A nasty
a little bit of
text
noosey-noosey.
on the back of Ken's
hello.
prison bars. On the right. They're wharf pylons. Knobhead.
2 to 6.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G.
The deadline to win $500,000 is midnight Sunday in the St. John Christmas Home Lottery. Can you believe it? $500,000! Plus, your ticket will stay in all remaining draws from our $10.9 million prize pool, including our grand prize draw, with 4 breathtaking $5 million grand prize home packages to choose from. Licence number M14618. Get your ticket before midnight Sunday. Support your St. John Ambos. Visit stjohnlottery.com.au.
CMAX is seeking healthy volunteers to help drive important breakthroughs in medical research. If you're aged 18 to 65 and generally healthy, you might be eligible to participate in a clinical trial that could progress treatment options for Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Experience 3 nights at CMAX, attend 1 follow-up visit, and be paid for your valuable time. Want to help advance the future of healthcare? Participate today by visiting cmax.com.au.
Forget having mulch or compost dumped on your driveway. It's messy and it gets in the way. Instead, order cubic metre Hulker bags, full of living earth, compost or mulch. Hulker bags are amazing. They can be delivered where most tip trucks can't get to. And it's Australian Standard certified. And because your compost or mulch comes in a large Hulker bag, it's easy to access with no mess. Google Hulker bag now and have yours delivered. Spelled Hulca. Hulker bag.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Clear tonight, down to 10. A possible morning shower tomorrow, 20. With the 6 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher. Vincent Tarzia has emerged as a Katy Perry fan. He's questioned the Premier's priorities today after he helped secure the singer's Adelaide concert next year while at the AFL Grand Final. Perry was offered the Ensign at a discounted rate after her original itinerary bypassed Adelaide. It turns out the opposition leader likes the California girl.
Katy Perry is a significant act. I'll probably look at getting some tickets for myself. I think it'd be a good date night. While we welcome Katy Perry coming to Adelaide, why is it one rule for Katy Perry and another rule for everybody else? It looks like Callie Malley can't quite get his priorities straight.
Tickets go on sale tomorrow. Police have illicit tobacco in their sights. Operation Eclipse is investigating offences including arson, assaults and money laundering in SA linked to the illegal activity. Detective Superintendent Shane Addison says the operation has been running since May.
We have already made arrests in relation to this operation. So far we have linked 7 arson attacks to this illicit tobacco industry, and we continue to seek out and identify further offending, which we believe has included assaults and attempts at extortion.
Operation Eclipse has also identified another 15 persons of interest in the activity. The end of an era for SAPOL today. It was the final handover of the Theberton Barracks site after more than 100 years. The keys were given to the builders of the new Women's and Children's Hospital. Mounted operations are now based at Jepps Cross. The new Road Safety Centre at West Beach will soon open to the public. The federal government admits tax revenue has shrunk and its latest surplus is a result of lower spending. The final budget outcome has revealed a surplus of $15.8 billion for this financial year. It's a big improvement on what had been forecast in the May budget. But Treasurer Jim Chalmers says the government still has economic challenges to navigate.
If you look at the tax receipts number, it's $5.3 billion lower than what we anticipated at budget. And spending is down twice that, effectively. And that's a really important part of the story.
The tributes are continuing to pour in for Chris Christopherson after his death at 88. He was a singer, songwriter, actor and even a Rhodes Scholar. He wrote the Janis Joplin classic, Me and Bobby McGee.
It was so exhilarating for me to hear her make that her song. If you're a songwriter and somebody does that with what you got, it's the greatest feeling in the world.
He retired from performing and recording in 2021, making only occasional guest appearances on stage. Now turning to 5AA's sport, and West Coast have announced the 7th coach in their history with the appointment of Andrew McQualter. Jack Fenwick reports.
The Victorian joins the club having spent 7 years as an assistant at Richmond before taking over as interim coach following Damien Hardwick's departure in 2023. He coached the Tigers to a record of 7 wins from 13 matches at the helm. West Coast CEO Don Pike says the 38-year-old's success at the Tigers made him a strong candidate.
The interim coach one gave me an opportunity to sit in the chair, and you know there's nothing like sitting in the chair, and he's had that experience.
McQualter says while he's still soaking in the moment, he's looking to hit the ground running.
There's no secret to this, there's no shortcuts, so it'll be about just getting to work, the right behaviours, the right actions. We'll look to get better from day one.
There are reports Melbourne is targeting retired Adelaide champion Rory Sloane. They're keen for him to join their coaching panel in 2025. And in the AFLW, Port have the Week 5 Rising Star nominee. Molly Brooksby has been recognised for her work on the field across 2 games. Now checking 5AA traffic.
It's better to be a member with RAA Rewards. Download the RAA app and start saving today.
In Gillis Plains, a car's gone into a tree. That's on Oakdale Drive near Cambridge Street. Watch out for that. And in Elizabeth Vale, the blackout is still affecting the lights on John Rice Avenue near Winkleberry Road. Cameras to slow down for Dawes Road, Melrose Park, Decatterville Terrace in the city, and West Street, Ascot Park. Australia, the national 3G network is closing. Check your text so you and your family stay safe and connected. Visit 3gclosure.com.au and act before the 28th of October. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA weather.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Down to 10 tonight, a possible morning shower tomorrow 20, Wednesday sunny 24, Thursday a late shower or two 29. Right now it's 16 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
Thank you. I'm Brenton Blacklist. Tonight, a police task force has been formed to combat an organised crime tobacco war. Adelaide businesses firebombed. A call for more to be done to help Adelaide growers crippled by tomato virus amid fears of more job losses. And Katy Perry confirms an Adelaide concert. And don't worry, you haven't missed the news. Start over on 9 now as soon as you're home.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
When you're updating your computer and you want the best value, Harvey Norman has the best deals and biggest range. On a small budget, no worries. The Asus VivoBook Go is the best price laptop under $400. It has a large 15.6-inch display, Intel dual-core Celeron CPU, 4GB of RAM and 128GB storage. It also includes Microsoft Office 365 for 1 year, all just $388. Want something with more power? They've got that too, and it's still under $900. The Acer Aspire Lite has an Intel i7 CPU, 16GB of RAM and 512GB solid-state drive. It also includes a large 15.6-inch Full HD display and Windows 11, all for only $898.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
South Australia. This is 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowey and Timmy G.
Welcome back. It is 7 minutes after 6 this evening. It's our grand final footy review. 8223 0000 is the number to call in. Treader's still to come. You'll hear from him. We'll review the season for the Crows and Port Adelaide and, of course, look ahead with free agency and trade, the preview for the 2024 off-season. But, of course, right now it's time to get our next guest up. For Parafield Airport Liquor, home of the hardest to find wines, beers and spirits, life is better with your pals.
Yeah, well, the EPL is now about 6 games in. The top 4, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, round that out. We've got the World Game expert, Daniel Garb, on the line. G'day, Garby.
Hello, gents. How you going?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you seeing the, well, we're about a sixth of the way through. How are you seeing it shaping up so far? Any surprises?
Yeah. Not really. I mean, I guess if there's a mini surprise, it might be how well Liverpool have started under Arne Slot, the new manager. I think people thought they would be a strong team, but they're probably exceeding expectations a touch. They're top of the ladder at this early stage of the season. They look like they're a legitimate contender. When at the start of the year, it was definitely Man City and Arsenal, and then perhaps some question marks over the Reds, who were probably third in the pecking order, but they've now jumped up into that top bracket. So that's definitely been one of the mini surprises. Ryan Gravenberch's development in defensive midfield is a big reason for that. I mean, one of the concerns over Liverpool's team was that defensive midfield position, and he's been extraordinary early on. So they look set everywhere. They've got an excellent attacking group. So, yep, they are the early pace setters, although not by much. And Man City look as strong as ever. The loss of Rodri is a blow for them, of course, and the Gunners will be a contender again. So those three, and then there's a gap to the rest. But geez, Chelsea are looking good early on as well. So we'll see how long they can sustain it for.
What about Man United sitting 12th?
Oh, they stink.
That's a bit
horrific again. I mean, they are. Nothing's improved. This is a team that, as we all know, was the powerhouse of world sport for so long. And their fans have been waiting for it to turn around, and it's just not. And it honestly would not surprise if they have another managerial change this week. To lose 3-0 at home to Tottenham Hotspur. Eric Ten Hag almost lost his job at the end of last season. So they looked around. There was no one there that was compelling, so they gave him a stay of execution, got another chance to sign some more players and try and rebuild, and they haven't really improved. Now, they've been smashed by Liverpool at home, now by Tottenham at home. Okay, they go down to 10-man. Was it a tough call? It looked like a bit of frustration from the captain, Bruno Fernandes, with that challenge. It goes against them. But outside of that, there's no fight. There's no resilience in the team right now. There's no reason for United fans to believe that it's going to turn. So they could easily pull the pin on him during this week, and then it's yet another managerial change, which would be about 8 or so, 7 or 8 in the 11 years since Sir Alex Ferguson departed. I mean, they just cannot get it right. So, yeah, their woes continue.
Can't all be manager, can it? God, they don't want for anything as resource with money. Are they just not getting the right players?
No, it's not. It's not the players, though, because they're spending a fortune, and the players that come in, a lot of them go to other clubs and do well. I'm not saying it's all the manager. It's quite possibly above him. And it's a cultural thing in the football club which they have to set right. And they have made some big changes in the off-season in terms of their structure to try and improve that. But, it's the same old saying in sport. You can't sell 20 players, or you can't find new owners tomorrow. You can sack the coach and try to find someone else to change things. And that is probably what will happen at Man United.
Yeah. I think the impressive thing about Liverpool, they've only let through 2 goals.
Yeah, the defence has been really good.
It has.
I think Alisson in goals is looking back to his best. Virgil van Dijk is, as we know, one of the best defenders in the world. But whoever plays alongside him, be it Konate or Kwanzaa, has looked really strong. But as I said, I think it's the defensive midfield position that's made the biggest difference. Gravenberch was a superb talent coming through in Dutch football, lost his way for a bit, and you can see now why there was so much hype around him. Liverpool stole one there when they got him for a pretty small fee, relatively. So that's made a big difference. It just slows the ball movement coming into Liverpool's defence, and they can set up nicely. And they look really strong back there at the moment, and they've got so many options in attack. So the Reds are likely to be there right until the end. I mean, the signs are really good.
Hey, our Joe Gauci got a debut.
Yeah,
at
in the League Cup during the week, which is great. It's a massive moment for him. And Aston Villa are just doing ever so well again. They should have won overnight. The draw with Ipswich for them is disappointing. But, they're looking strong once more. And he's going to get more games. The stronger they are, the more games he gets. Because the longer they go into the cup competitions, be it the Champions League, or the League Cup, etc., the more opportunities he gets. So it's great for him. And look, we're going to have a Socceroos goalkeeping change at some stage. Matty Ryan's still there, but there's going to be opportunities. Joe Gauci could well be Australia's number 1 in the future, and this is just a great way for him to, learn about the top flight of world football. And if it's not at Villa or somewhere else, he'll go be the number 1 and hopefully have a great career. It's a great position he's in at a young age.
How are the other Aussies going over there? Anybody popping their heads up?
There's a few around who are doing some nice things. The really disappointing news, to be honest, across the last few days is that Alessandro Ciccati, who plays for Parma in FIVEAA and has come through as a Socceroos regular defender, a youngster with real talent, did his ACL. So he's out for the year now. I mean, that's a blow for new coach Tony Popovic. Just seems like Australian football talent's caught more injuries than anyone else. I don't know what it is. Whenever there's someone coming through, they get a serious injury at some stage. And that's a big blow for him. So that was probably a disappointing story that came out of the weekend. But, I think, look, we've got some players doing some nice things abroad. Hopefully Nestoria and Kunde can get some more game time in Germany at Bayern. Wouldn't that be something special to watch? He's really impressed them in the pre-season and hopefully get some opportunities. But Tony Popovic's got a fair bit to work with, and then the A-League starts soon, and that'll give him some more options locally too.
Beautiful. Just before we let you go, Garby, 3rd round Group C World Cup qualifiers, 10th of October. China's coming to Adelaide.
Correct.
Socceroos, it is sold out. What are you expecting? And boy, oh boy, wowee, do we need a win?
Well, we need a win. That's the first thing. And we should win against China. I mean, it's a managerial debut for Tony Popovic with the national team. So it's a huge occasion for Adelaide to have, a front row seat, or wherever you're sitting in the Adelaide Oval, an in-stadium view of that. It's going to be great around town. And Adelaide supports Socceroos ever so well. I've been there for Socceroos games. The media and the fans get right behind the team. So it'll be a big occasion. They should be rejuvenated. I expect them to be far too good for China. The next game, though, is a difficult task. That's Japan away. But it'd be great for Adelaide to have Popper in town for his first game as national team coach, and the team up and about trying to get things right on this path to the 2026 World Cup in the USA, Canada and Mexico.
Hottest ticket in town, sold out, 10th of October.
Can't get it now.
Well done, Garby.
Thanks very much, mate.
Thanks, boys. All the best.
Appreciate it. That is Daniel Garb, World Game expert, just bringing us up to date on the EPL. And when you're after that special drop, just trust your pals. They've got it. Parafield Airport Liquor. It's the home of all the hardest to find wines, beers and spirits. Yep, life's better with your pals.
I want to be able to defend this next text on the Unique Homestyle Food text.
Yes, yes.
And I'm not going to make a comment. I'm going to read it. We're going to go to the break and I'm going to have a good think about my response.
Oh, good work.
Manchester United. They sound like the Crows. Players go to other clubs and perform.
15 after 6.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G.
Tune into the 5AA Sports Show each week for Where Are They Now? The sporting names you remember from the past, revisited. Thanks to Walco. A Walco pool blanket will keep your water clean, warm and prevent evaporation. Walco.com.au.
When you've been around for over a century, you know a thing or two. And South Australian Business Chamber and Ray White have almost 300 years between them. So when an alliance is formed between South Australian Business Chamber and Ray White Business Sales SA, all that experience flows to you. This ensures you're in top shape, whether you're buying, selling, or somewhere in between. Touch base with the experts. Search Ray White Business Sales SA. Proudly partnered with South Australian Business Chamber.
When deciding on a gas fireplace for your home heating, you may think they all look the same. Well, at the gas shop, we're more than happy to
turn the lights down low. So you can see how different each one is. That's a beautiful thing. Heating, cooking comfort, turn on to the gas shop. 161 Unley Road, opposite Target.
Harris Scarf's mid-season sale is on now. Save up to 60% off all vacuums, up to 40% off all coffee machines, kettles and toasters, and 40 to 60% off all cutlery and glassware. Hurry, sale ends Monday, 7th of October. Exclusions apply. Harris Scarf, great brands, great prices.
At OPSM, we are dedicated to delivering you everyday excellence. Until October 16, get $100 off prescription glasses or prescription sunglasses. Minimum spend $350. T&Cs apply. See website for details. Book an eye test today at OPSM.
Win a mortgage-free lifestyle with the St. John Christmas Home Lottery. There's 4 incredible $5 million grand prize packages to choose from, each with a luxury car and $1 million in cash. With a jaw-dropping 63,000 prizes, every ticket has a 1 in 10 chance of winning a prize from the staggering $10.9 million prize pool. Hurry, buy your tickets now. Visit stjohnlottery.com.au and get your tickets today. Licence number M14618.
It's RSPCA's Give to Get Them Home appeal this Thursday. All donations will be automatically doubled thanks to their generous matching partners. Your donation will help care for SA's most vulnerable animals. $10 becomes $20, $50 becomes $100. Donate at rspcagivingday.com/SA this Thursday. RSPCA's Give to Get Them Home appeal. Every dollar helps, especially when it's doubled.
A potential vaccine to fight a bacteria responsible for life-threatening pneumonia in the very young and elderly has been developed in South Australia, and Fusion Clinical Research has been asked to trial this vaccine. For this important study, Fusion is seeking people aged 70 and over. If you want to take part in this important trial, go to fusiontrials.com.au or call Fusion on 087077 6996. That's 087077 6996. You will be paid for your time.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
Yes, it's 18 minutes after 6 on this Monday evening. Coming up, you'll hear from Warren Treadray. And 5AA's Golf Day returns for 2024, partnering with Phil Hoffman Travel. Get down to the Glenelg Golf Club on the 11th of October. The way you can do so is by registering at 5AA.com.au. That is where you get your chance to win. Don't miss out. All thanks to Phil Hoffman Travel, creating moments you'll never forget. Visit pht.com.au for hundreds of exclusive deals.
It's about our listeners. It's about being interactive, and John's just that from Norwood.
Hey, Johnny.
Hi, Tim, Stephen.
Johnny.
Stuart Jew, he's an unsung hero. Like, he's gone up to Brisbane and joined the coaching panel up there. He's a very good football brain. And I can't work out why Adelaide hasn't spoken to him, because, you know, he's a good man. Seeing that Sloane's walked, and I just thought he'd be ideal bloke to have on the panel.
Johnny, Sloane hasn't walked.
He's not gone anywhere.
He's not gone anywhere. Let's wait for Tim Silvers to outline that. I think Stewie's up that way. He lives there. The family's settled. He's got a young family, and I reckon someone like Fags would have said, mate, more experience the better. We've got the resource. Come on in.
Yep.
It's been great. He sat on the bench predominantly in that grand
Yeah,
final.
you saw him, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which he would have been. He's a good calming influence as well, isn't he?
He's fantastic.
Let's go to
Thanks,
Ranella.
Johnny.
G'day, Robert.
G'day there, boys. How you going?
Good, buddy.
I don't know. I haven't listened to the radio for me because I had to go out tonight. But one comment, or three comments I wanted to make. I know it was an absolute bath, but I enjoyed that match. I enjoyed the way they played down the corridor instead of mucking around with the boundary. And as far as I was concerned, it was good football. I know they got a bath. But one thing I wanted to say is that Sam Newman, isn't he a sarcastic mongrel?
What did he say?
I mean,
Can be. What did he do, Rob?
he turned around and said that basically Sydney shouldn't be in the competition. They should resign from it for a poor performance like that. And the other thing I was going to say is, what's wrong with our local talent as regards to singing? You know, I mean, you've given an international star $5 million to sing all those four or five songs when we've got just as good a talent here. I can't understand the AFL wasting so much money.
Well, did you like Katy Perry dancing around with those goon bags, Rob?
I didn't like her at all, mate.
Nah. What about when she got up there with Tina Arena? She's local.
Well, yeah, I know. I know what you're saying, Rowey, but it's just that people go along there and got to pay $7 or $8 for a pie, $7 or $8 for a bottle of water, and you're throwing the money out of the country.
No, I get that. I'm with you because I wouldn't have got her. Did you enjoy her song, I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It?
I mean...
You don't have to answer that, Robert.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He was just about to, you clowns.
I think it's his lawyer speaking.
Yeah, which I would save the dump button for today.
Now, Jack Lukosius is an interesting test case for me, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah, I'm interested.
We reported first that Matthew Nicks flew to the Gold Coast and met with Jack Lukosius. That was round 21. The date was the Thursday, the 8th of August. It was a big thing. In season, a coach flying to meet a player to woo them over.
That's a massive out. Now, is it a coincidence? Matty Nicks was on the Gold Coast this week. The coach of the Crows was on the Gold Coast this week.
Hello. What's the...
I like that. Hello.
Yeah, what's
now, that's
happening
more than
there?
a coincidence. The week that Jack Lukosius picked 2 of the 2018 draft, who's never been dropped, has been omitted by Damien Hardwick. But take it to the bank, they've met. Nicks and Lukosius, the list managers have chatted.
A couple of things there. Hello. Was that you?
Yes,
was that Dad's Army?
Yeah, well, I think...
Hello.
On a lot of British shows, wasn't
Okay.
it?
Crow's number one target back then, reportedly, Jack Lukosius, and he was offered north of 100,000 more per year than Port. Now, again, that's reportedly. We don't know what he was offered, whether it's 5 years, 6 years. But what I want to know is what's changed in the Crows' eyes, and then what I'm trying to get at, is it dollars? Was it just simply Jack's preference? Was it the Crows sell? Was it the Port sell? Was it simply friendships? He's very good friends with Connor Rosie in his wedding. Is it success? What have the goalposts changed? Because they were all in, and now they're not in at all. Do you know what I mean? It'd be a good case study, that one. Is it because they said, oh, well, we've got father-son, young Welsh, Tyler Welsh. We've got Fogg. We've got.
Is it surplus to needs? Is what you're saying?
Well, all that sort of
did
stuff.
Did they change their mind on that?
No. And again, it might be a good one for Tim Silvers. So you were all in. You offered a magnificent deal, and it was a lot more than Port, but they won him, and you lost him. So you were all in on him. But what changed between that and Port winning him? I'd like that as a little case study to help you target and get other players. It can't be simply that Connor Rosie's his best mate.
Well, you always say there's more than one element to making a decision. But
just to go on. So that leads me to this. You've got him, Jack Lukosius, if you can strike a deal. You've also got a bloke called Houston who said, look, if I can get a deal elsewhere, I'll go. I just want to ask you a couple of hypotheticals. I know you don't like dealing.
Hypotheticals, let's go.
You lose Houston. This is a trade. Now, it'll be a multi-club trade.
Yep.
Think Gold Coast, think multi-club trade. Cripsy's brilliant at putting them together. You lose Houston, but you get Luco and, say, pick 30.
Ooh. I think they want to get in the first round.
Okay, so that's
I think they're saying no.
Your facial expression on the Foodland live stream said it all.
Right away, no.
You turn your nose up, and that's not on. Okay, you lose Houston, you get Luco and a late first round pick.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works.
That's warming.
Yeah, it's warming.
Okay, you get Luco, lose Houston, and you get a mid first round pick.
Say around 8.
You'd do that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah, you're probably doing that one.
So that's what's going to transpire. So now it's up to multiple clubs to get clubs together. Now some clubs, and Brisbane's one of them, they just want pick numbers.
Yeah, picks.
You know what I mean? They want to get that young. That's exactly right.
They need points.
They need points. So think about that and how it's going to land. And that's my guess. It's going to be a lot of clubs. I think Brisbane will be in it because it's about points, and they'll be able to trade out stuff and.
Because they need to get another Ashcroft.
And they will.
What a nightmare.
Tom Morris had a bit of an update on the Dan Houston situation earlier today.
Carlton at this stage are saying, we'll give you a future first rounder for Dan Houston. Port Adelaide is saying that's nowhere near it. We need more than that. So it's in Port Adelaide's interest. It's in Dan Houston's interest if he can get there himself. And it's in North Melbourne's interest, clearly, if he can get to Arden Street. Now, that is what Port Adelaide want, because North Melbourne have better picks than what Carlton do. It's an easier trade to orchestrate. Dan Houston, my understanding is, had a chat to Alistair Clarkson on the weekend, so he is considering the ruse. He's got 3 years remaining on a deal, Dan. It's not an easy one to orchestrate at this point.
It will not happen. He will be at Port next year.
Ooh,
it's too hard.
Yeah,
will you name the last player
No.
of his ilk who's got 3 years to run that's got to be club of his choice? Name one. You can't.
If I had to put money on it, and I'd say that he will end up at a club.
Oh,
Won't go to Carlton for a future rounder.
No.
Because I think we heard out of the Treadray interview, they want to be in this one.
Yep.
So it won't be a future first round. There you go.
Let's hear what Treaders thinks. It's 27 after 6. We'll get to him next.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. 5AA Nights with Leap Forest.
For more than 50 years, my next guest